Hello, 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 my fellow stinky visitor, here in hell. I am smoking pineapple patchouli cannabis and drinking Kylie Page, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish, honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines, which can only and always harm them, and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 695 million humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake pseudoscientific diagnostic tests, which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. It's too fucking ugly to behold. It's shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 64-storey luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. This piece is titled, Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. Bob is 56 years old, an airline pilot with 30,000 hours experience, and he is not on duty. He is in the cockpit jump seat, merely catching a free ride to JFK International Airport in New York City. And we are at a cruising altitude of 37,000 feet when the captain, Big Ted, pulls out a spliff of marijuana and lights it up and passes it to Mike, the co-pilot. As he does so, he cranks up a ghetto blaster that is blasting Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Bob has been sitting peacefully in the jump seat with his eyes closed when suddenly he is jolted awake by the opening riff. He says,
What the? What? Oh, what are you?
He leaps up from the jump seat and screams,
Are you out of your minds? Have you both suffered simultaneous strokes? No! No, 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 no! This is not happening! I did not just witness the pilot in command of a commercial airliner carrying, 300 people, light up a marijuana cigarette in the flight deck while blasting Highway to Hell at cruising altitude. Do you understand the symbolism here, Ted? Highway to Hell! You're literally providing the soundtrack to what could be the most catastrophic failure in aviation judgment since... I can't even think of a comparison, because nothing compares to this level of insanity. We are in a pressurized aluminum tube, hurtling through the stratosphere at 500 miles per hour with human cargo, and you're treating it like a Rolling Stones concert. The FAA doesn't just revoke licenses for this, they throw you in federal prison. This is a felony. This is decades of your lives gone. Every rating, every certification, every hour you've logged, gone. Turn that music off. Stop smoking that dope. And someone please tell me I'm having a nightmare from bad airline food.
And Captain Big Ted says,
Hey, what's your trip, dude? Ain't you flown with us before? We always fire up a doobie when we're at altitude. It's scientifically safe, mate. The autopilot is on, right? So it's a piece of cake. Here, try some of this smoke. It'll sure enough put your dick in the dirt.
Bob recoils as if being offered a live grenade and says,
You always! Oh my God! This isn't a one-time lapse in judgment. This is standard operating procedure for you maniacs. How many flights? How many? The autopilot is on. The autopilot is on. Do you know what the autopilot is, Ted? It's a computer that can fail, a computer that needs human oversight, a computer that assumes the humans monitoring it have functioning brain cells. What happens when ATC calls with a traffic conflict? When we get wind shear warnings? When an engine flames out? When we need to divert for a medical emergency? You're going to handle those situations while impaired? And you're offering marijuana to me like it's a bag of peanuts. Here, try some. I don't want some. I want to get to JFK alive. I want these passengers to see their families. I want aviation to remain the safest mode of transportation instead of becoming a flying Cheech and Chong routine. There are children back there, babies, people on their way to weddings, funerals, job interviews, and you're treating their lives like a joke. This is a betrayal of everything we swore to uphold when we earned our wings. Everything!
Shh. Easy does it, Tiger. We've never encountered any of those issues, Bob. You must be jinxed or something. Besides, President Trump signed an executive order today saying it is perfectly safe and legal for airline pilots to smoke dope on the job. So, just chill, my man. We're as clean as Skeeter's Peter.
I'm sorry. What? President Trump signed an executive order saying it's legal for pilots to smoke dope on the job? Oh, that's rich. That's beautiful. And I suppose he also signed one saying gravity is optional and fuel is just a suggestion. An executive order. An executive order. Ted, even if the President of the United States stood in this cockpit right now and told me it was legal, safe, and patriotic to get high while flying, it would still violate the laws of physics, pharmacology, and basic human decency. You must be jinxed! I'm jinxed! No, Ted. What's jinxed is every single passenger who had the cosmic misfortune to book a flight with Captain Hunter S. Thompson and First Officer Oscar Acosta. You've never encountered those issues because you've been lucky, cosmically, impossibly lucky. Your Russian roulette pilots and the chamber just hasn't come uploaded yet. There is no executive order. There is no universe where impaired flying is acceptable. And there is no chance I'm sitting quietly while you turn this aircraft into a flying felony. I'm going back to passenger cabin before I have a stroke.
I think you'll find the door is securely locked, mate. Maybe just sit back down and try some of this cannabis, Bob. Try it, and you might like it. Don't be such a chicken shit. Have a toke?
Locked? You locked the door? Oh, this is perfect! Just perfect! So now I'm not just an unwilling witness to federal aviation crimes. I'm a hostage! A prisoner in a flying drug den at 37,000 feet! Chicken shit! You're calling me a chicken shit? I'll tell you what's chicken shit, Ted! Chicken shit is needing drugs to handle the job you're paid to do. Chicken shit is hiding behind autopilot and fictional executive orders because you're too cowardly to face reality sober. I've flown through micro-bursts. I've landed in crosswinds that would make your hair stand on end. I've handled engine failures, hydraulic malfunctions, and medical emergencies. And I did it all with nothing in my system but coffee and professional integrity. You want me to try it? You want me to throw away 30,000 hours? 30,000 hours of spotless flight time? My ATP rating? My reputation? My ability to look myself in the mirror? I would rather sit here in white-knuckled terror for the next 3 hours than take one puff and become the kind of pilot who values chilling out over the sacred trust placed in us. So no, Ted! My answer is no!
The co-pilot informs Big Ted there looks like there is a supercell about 100 miles to the east of them, and would he like to go in that direction to see a spectacular lightning show? And Big Ted replies,
Fuck yes, mighty mate. That'll be sick. We can get some cool selfies. Dude, I'm starting to trip balls to the walls. Core blimey. This dope is super good, mate. Your bro Curtis sure came through with some dynamite weed.
What? What did you just say? You want to fly into a supercell? A supercell? To watch the lightning? Ted, do you have any idea, any concept of what a supercell is? It's not a fireworks show. It's a rotating thunderstorm with winds that can tear this aircraft apart. Hail the size of grapefruits. Updrafts and downdrafts that'll toss us around like a toy. Too cool? Too cool? I'll tell you what's cool, Ted. Structural integrity. Controlled flight. Passengers not vomiting in sheer terror. Look, Ted, that supercell is painting red and magenta on your radar screen. That means stay away. That means deviation required. That means every bit of training, every weather briefing, every accident report is screaming at you to go around. But no, Captain Marijuana here thinks it'll be spectacular. Well, you know what else would be spectacular? The NTSB report The headlines! High pilots fly into storm! 300 dead! I am trapped in a cockpit with madmen! Madmen who think severe weather is entertainment! Turn this aircraft away from that cell right now!
You're overreacting, Bobby, and that's 'cause ye ain't chilling with the spliff and the tunes. We've done this millions of times, and it's totally safe. Completely scientific. What? Well, maybe once or twice we had a bit of violent Category 3 turbulence. But nobody got killed. And we all saw a great show. It was the Hanover F5 tornado. You would have loved it, mate.
Did you just say F5 tornado? You flew near an F5 tornado. The Hanover F5. Winds over 200 miles per hour, while high. And nobody got killed? Nobody got killed? That's your safety metric? That's your standard? Well, we cheated death again. So let's roll the dice with 300 more lives. Ted! An F5 tornado is the most violent force in nature. It's catastrophic damage, total destruction. And you flew your passengers, paying customers who trusted you with their lives, into its proximity to get a better view. Category 3, turbulence. A bit of Category 3, that's severe to extreme. That's people hitting the ceiling. That's broken bones, concussions, flight attendants hospitalized, overhead bins exploding open. And you've done this millions of times! Millions! How are you not in prison? How has the FAA not welded your licenses into a cube and dropped it in the ocean? I have flown for 3 decades, avoiding weather like a professional. And you're treating Mother Nature like a tourist attraction while baked out of your mind. This is beyond insanity. This is suicide with an audience.
Nah, we'll be just fine, Bob. I'm feeling loose and groovy. Although you might want to strap yourself in because it's going to get a little bumpy. Hey, Mike, you got any more of that awesome ketamine?
Ketamine! 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 You're adding horse tranquilizer to the mix. Oh my God! Oh my living God! This isn't just recreational drug use anymore. This is a mobile pharmacy. This is a flying dispensary. What's next? Are you going to break out the peyote? Do some ayahuasca at flight level 370? Marijuana wasn't enough. No. You need to add dissociative anesthetics to the cocktail while piloting a wide-body aircraft into a rotating supercell. Do you understand what ketamine does, Mike? It disconnects your brain from your body. You could be in a K-hole while we're getting torn apart by 250-mile-per-hour winds. You won't even know which way is up. I've seen a lot in 30,000 hours. Engine fires, decompression, bird strikes. But I have never been trapped in a cockpit with 2 psychonauts treating commercial aviation like it's the Burning Man festival at altitude. This is it. This is how I die. Not in a heroic emergency landing, not saving lives, but as a footnote in the most deranged aviation incident in history. Please don't fly near the storm. I'm scared.
Hello, my fellow stinky visitor, here in hell. I am smoking Pink Panties cannabis and drinking Tracy Lord's cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw set Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only, and always harm them, and never ever help them. And right this moment, another 932 million humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudoscientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. It's too fucking ugly to behold. It's shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 65-storey luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 2. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We left part 1 of this story with Captain Big Ted, his co-pilot Mike, and their jump seat passenger Bob, flying at 37,000 feet in a commercial airliner with 365 souls aboard. Big Ted and Mike have been sharing a spliff of Rainbow Oreos marijuana and have decided to make a slight diversion off course to get a closer look at a growing supercell. Big Ted has just asked Mike if he has any more ketamine available, and this has caused great alarm in passenger Bob, who happens to be a senior pilot with over 30,000 hours of experience. Mike produces a vial of ketamine and hands it to Big Ted whilst telling him that the weather radar indicates that the supercell is 75,000 feet high. He wonders if they should climb higher than that to get a safer view. Bob watches the vial exchange hands and then processes what Mike just said.
75,000 feet? Climb higher? Oh, that's perfect! That's the cherry on top of this insanity sundae. Mike! Our service ceiling is 43,000 feet! 43! This aircraft is physically incapable of climbing to 75,000 feet. The engines would flame out. We'd stall. The pressurization system would fail. We'd all pass out from hypoxia. But I guess that won't matter, because you're already trying to achieve that with ketamine. You want to climb above a supercell in an aircraft designed to fly at normal altitudes, while high on multiple substances.
Bob watches Big Ted tap out 2 little piles of ketamine on the back of his left hand.
And oh God, he's actually... No! Ted, put that down! You're about to dissociate from reality while trying to fly us into the stratosphere to get a safer view of something we should be avoiding by at least 20 nautical miles. This is it. This is actually it. We're going to attempt an aerodynamically impossible climb while the pilots are on a drug cocktail, heading into a supercell that could rip the wings off. This is the moment. I'm watching the captain of a commercial flight snorting ketamine while his first officer suggests climbing to altitudes that would require a spacesuit. You can't get a safer view by climbing above it because we can't climb above it. We'll stall. We'll fall out of the sky like a brick. The coffin corner at that altitude, if we could even reach it, would be non-existent. Physics, aerodynamics, basic reality still applies, even when you're high as a kite. I'm going to die with idiots.
Holy smokes, Bob. Why the panic? Have we had any problems so far? Do you need some chloroform to calm down? We've exceeded the recommended ceiling dozens of times and here we are, still alive. So seriously, bro, just chill. Hey, Mike, just ignore ATC when they ask why we're going off track. In fact, should we disconnect the transponder so they'll just leave us alone for a while?
Chloroform! Disconnect the transponder! You want to drug me into unconsciousness and make us invisible to air traffic control? Ted! Mike! The transponder is the only thing keeping us from being a ghost ship. It's how air traffic control knows where we are. It's how other aircraft avoid us. It's the difference between controlled airspace and total chaos. Just ignore air traffic control. Are you crazy? They're not telemarketers. They're not spam callers. They're the people keeping thousands of aircraft from colliding. And you want to go dark?
Big Ted and co-pilot Mike burst into uncontrollable laughter.
Do you know what happens when you disconnect your transponder and go off course? Fighter jets! F-16s on your wingtips! The military assumes you're hijacked or hostile. They'll force us down, or worse. And no, I don't need chloroform. I don't need to be rendered unconscious so I don't witness whatever final destination scenario you're orchestrating. Here we are, still alive. That's survivor bias. That's like jumping off a building 99 times and saying, see, gravity is optional. The 100th time kills you, Ted. We've gone from marijuana to vanishing, from radar. This isn't aviation anymore. It's a crime spree at altitude. Please, just land this plane somewhere, anywhere.
As the airliner climbs higher and higher and makes its way towards the supercell over Kansas, Big Ted asks Mike,
Oi, mate, what's that rumbling sound? Are we buffeting? Or is it the ketamine? Oh, it must be the K. Look at that. Arc lightning. Higher, higher. I want to see the sprite above the supercell. Let's push this bitch to her max, Michael. Push, push, push.
That's not the ketamine. That's the aircraft telling you she's dying. Buffeting. That's buffeting, Ted. That means we're approaching stall. The wings are losing lift. The air is too thin. We're at the edge of controlled flight. And that's not a light show. That's St. Elmo's fire. We're in the storm. We're in it. The static discharge means we're being bombarded. Sprites. You want to see sprites? Those are 50 miles above the Earth. That's the mesosphere. We'd need a rocket. We'd need spacesuits. We'd need to not be in a commercial aircraft. The airframe is screaming. Can't you hear it? That rumbling is structural stress. The wings are flexing beyond limits. We're seconds from...
Co-pilot Mike pushes the throttles and laughs maniacally.
No! Mike! Stop! Stop! The engines can't take it. We're already past service ceiling. You're going to flame them out. Push the nose down. Descend. Get us out of this storm before we break apart. I don't want to die chasing atmospheric phenomena with drugged madmen. Please, God, somebody, Mayday, Mayday. We're alone. Nobody knows where we are. Nobody's coming. This is hell. Highway to hell was prophetic.
I can't see how the gibby-gub particle inflates with the terrestrial skies of purple velvet along the Hemi hang, you know? It's just plastic geometry mixed with elementary urinary tract infections that cost untold hundreds of Texas dollars. And yet, it's not proper spooge logistics, is it? Am I tripping? I don't think I am.
Oh no! Oh no, 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 no! He's gone! Ted is gone! That's a K-hole! Full dissociation! Gibby-gub particle! Hemi hang! Mike! Mike, look at him! Your captain is speaking in tongues! He's completely detached from reality! His brain is in another dimension! Mike, you're the only one left! You're high on marijuana, but at least you're still coherent! Please, for the love of God, push the nose down! Level off! Get us out of this storm! Ted can't help! He doesn't even know where he is! He thinks we're discussing spooge logistics and Texas dollars! He's useless! We have 300 people counting on us, and the pilot in command is babbling about purple velvet skies! Mike, be the hero! Save us! Descend! Now! I'm begging you!
Mike turns around and looks at Bob and says,
If I get us back on course, Bob, how do I know you won't report us when we land? How can I be assured you won't drop a dime and tell the feds?
Mike, we are literally seconds from breaking apart! Ted is catatonic! We're in a supercell at a legal altitude with no transponder, and you want assurances? Mike, I have spent 30 years upholding every regulation, every rule. I've never compromised. Never! And you're asking me to... I don't know, Mike! I don't know what I'll do! Maybe I'll report you! Maybe my conscience won't let me stay silent! Maybe I'll have nightmares for the rest of my life knowing I enabled this! But right now, this second, none of that matters if we're dead! Please, get us down first! We'll deal with the consequences later! Just get us out of this storm! Save these people, Mike! Whatever happens to you, to me, to Ted, save the passengers, please!
Mike makes a smacking sound with his lips and tells Bob,
Wrong answer, Bob. I was hoping you were gonna be a decent dude, but no. You're a mama's boy and probably a homosexual. That's it. I'm pushing this massive bitch to the hilt.
What? Mike! Mike, no! You're going to murder 300 people because I... Homosexual? Mama's boy? Those are your concerns right now? We're about to die and you're throwing slurs at me? Mike, stop! Think about what you're doing! Those people back there! The families! The children! They did nothing! They're innocent! Fine, fine! I won't report you! I promise! I swear on everything! Just don't kill us! Please! I'll say nothing! I'll disappear! I'll never fly again! Whatever you want! Just level off! Please! This isn't about me anymore. It's not about you. It's about them, the passengers. Mike, I'm begging you, be better than this. Don't let it end like this. Please, please, we don't have to die today.
Hello, 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 my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking Christie Canyon cunnilingus cannabis and drinking Kylie Page, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only and always harm them and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 1.7 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudoscientific diagnostic tests, which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it. It's too fucking ugly to behold. It's shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 66-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 3. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are cruising at 42,575 feet in a commercial airliner with 365 souls on board. In the cockpit is Captain Big Ted and his co-pilot Mike, and they are accompanied by a jump seat passenger named Bob, who is also an airline pilot. We are flying over Kansas and are 11 nautical miles away from a supercell. Big Ted is under the influence of ketamine, and Mike is stoned on Rainbow Oreos marijuana. Bob is out of his mind with panic because the aircraft is buffeting and Mike has pushed the throttle forward in an effort to reach a height above the top of the 75,000-foot supercell. Suddenly, the lights in the cockpit begin to flicker, and Bob looks at Big Ted, who is 6 feet, 10 inches tall, and weighs 345 pounds, and sees him slump forward into the yoke with his eyes wide open and drool falling from his mouth. His massive weight is too much for co-pilot Mike, who tries his hardest to pull back on the yoke, but it's no use. The plane pitches downwards from its height of 42,575 feet. Mike isn't sure if this is a good thing or not.
Hey, Bob, dude, what's with Ted? Hey, Ted, you fucking K-holing me, man. Dude, get off the fucking yoke, yo.
Forget Ted! The trim! I'll use the trim wheel! Mike, pull back on your yoke! I'm trimming nose up! We can overpower his weight! 35,000, 33,000, 31,000! Trim! 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 It's working! Keep pulling! Both hands! Everything you've got! We're at 340 knots! 350! Watch the overspeed! Pull gently! Don't rip the wings off! Throttle back! Reduce power! We need to slow this descent!
Bob reaches across to help pull Mike's yoke.
Together! Pull! Pull! 28,000 feet! 27,000! We're leveling! I can feel it! The trim is working! Keep pulling, Mike! Steady pressure! We're going to make it! Come on! Come on! Nose up! Nose up!
All right, dude. It's totally cool. You can let go now, brother. I've turned on the autopilot.
Just then, Ted wakes up and starts laughing uncontrollably.
Hey, space cowboy! Welcome back to consciousness. Welcome back to hell. You just missed the coolest fucking dive ever, dude. Ever. It was out of this world, Jack.
Bob releases the yoke with trembling, white-knuckled hands, and whilst staggering backwards, he exclaims,
Totally cool! Totally cool! We almost! The coolest dive! The coolest dive! You died, Ted, or overdosed, or whatever the hell that was. Your massive carcass slumped into the controls and sent us into a 15,000-foot death spiral. We were seconds from breaking up, from auguring into the Kansas prairie at 400 knots. 300 people were about to be obliterated because you wanted to see sprites. And now you're laughing. Welcome back to hell. Out of this world. I can't. I've survived, but I'll never be the same. You're monsters, both of you. Psychopathic, drugged-out monsters. And somehow we're still alive, with the autopilot on, like nothing happened. How is this my life right now?
Ted recovers from his fit of laughter and gets on the cabin intercom to tell the passengers what's been going on.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your captain here. You may have noticed a slight lapse of gravity there for a moment or two, but as you can tell, all's well that ends well. As some of you who have flown with us before can well attest, this kind of weightlessness is not uncommon when flying over Kansas. Nothing to worry about at all. We're less than 3 hours away from JFK, and thank you kindly for flying Melania Trump Airways.
Mike sets the course back to 37,000 feet and congratulates Ted for giving such an alarm-free explanation.
Back in form, Ted. Well done, dude. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Want to smoke another spliff of rainbow Oreos?
Kansas weightlessness? Kansas weightlessness? Ted, you just lied to 300 people. You gaslighted an entire cabin. Not uncommon when flying over Kansas. That's not a thing. That's not a real thing. We just plummeted 15,000 feet. People's drinks hit the ceiling. Flight attendants probably broke bones. And you told them it's normal? All's well that ends well? We almost died. They almost died. And you're treating it like routine turbulence over the Midwest? And you, Mike, back in form? You're praising him? He just committed mass deception. Wait! You're going back to 37,000? Back up after what just happened? And rainbow Oreos? Really? Rainbow Oreos? You want to smoke more dope? And since when did this become Melania Trump Airways? What kind of airline is this? Is this even legal? Does the FAA know you exist?
Co-pilot Mike passes the spliff to Big Ted and tells Bob,
I'm gonna unlock the door, Bob. Can you go into the cabin and make sure everyone is all right? Come back and let us know.
And Ted takes a massive hit off the spliff, and whilst holding his breath, he says to Bob,
And hey, Governor, tell one of the female flight attendants, one of the pretty ones, the youngest, the youngest and prettiest of the bunch, to come up here right quick, okay?
I'm sorry. What did you just say? You want me to bring you the youngest, the prettiest flight attendant to the cockpit? No, absolutely not. Ted, I have watched you smoke marijuana, take ketamine, nearly kill 300 people, lie to passengers, and violate every aviation regulation in existence. But this crosses a line even beyond your drug-fueled insanity. Those flight attendants are professionals doing their jobs. They are not your personal entertainment. And I will not be complicit in whatever disgusting scenario you're cooking up in your drug-addled brain. You want someone to check on passengers. I'll do it. But I am not bringing a young woman up here so you two can... I may be trapped on this nightmare flight, but I still have some shred of human decency left. The answer is no, Ted. No!
Okay, Bob. Don't get your knickers all in a twist, mate. You don't like poontang. You don't like poontang. Different strokes for different folks. I'm down with that. Now, please check the cabin and give us a report.
Don't like poontang! That's what you took from that. Not that I was protecting a young woman from two impaired pilots in a locked cockpit. Not that what you were suggesting was predatory and disgusting. You think this is about my preferences? This is about you being a threat, a drug-addled, judgment-impaired threat to every person on this aircraft. And now you want me to leave you two alone up here, in command of over 300 lives, while I go check the cabin. How do I know you won't decide to do another cool dive? Or call up a flight attendant anyway, once I'm gone? God help me. Those passengers do need to be checked on after that dive. Do not touch those controls beyond what the autopilot is doing. Do not call anyone up here. Do not do anything except sit there and try to sober up.
Bob opens the door.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Bob leaves the cockpit and shuts the door. Big Ted and Mike pass the spliff back and forth. Big Ted loads the ghetto blaster with the tape from Guns N' Roses called Appetite for Destruction and cranks it pretty loud.
Hey, dude, I've got Cottonmouth. Got any beer in the igloo?
Ted reaches into the igloo and retrieves a tall can of Old English 800 malt liquor and hands it to Mike. A few minutes go by and Bob returns with his report.
Okay, everyone in the cabin is mostly... Are you drinking? Are you drinking now? Beer, alcohol, on top of the marijuana and ketamine, and malt liquor. You're not even having a classy drink. You're chugging high-alcohol malt liquor while piloting a commercial aircraft. And Appetite for Destruction? Really? Again, with the prophetic album titles. You're literally soundtracking our demise. The passengers are shaken, bruised, terrified. Half of them think we hit wind shear. The other half are praying. The flight attendants are trying to calm people down while dealing with their own trauma. And you two are up here having a frat party at 37,000 feet. Drugs, alcohol, rock and roll, the holy trinity of pilot incapacitation. You've achieved the trifecta of aviation violations. How are we still in the air? How have we not been intercepted? How is this real? What's next? Tequila shots? A keg stand? How much is in that cooler, Ted? How many cans? Are you planning to get drunk too? We're still 2.5 hours from JFK. 2.5 hours with drunk, high, ketamine-addled pilots. I can't. What's next? Heroin? Mushrooms? Are we stopping for a cocaine pickup over Pennsylvania?
Oi! That reminds me. Well done, Bob. The last time I flew this plane, I stashed a rock of crack underneath the housing of the flaps control. I wonder if it's... Yes! Oh, thank bloody God, it's here.
Fire that motherfucker up, dude. I ain't done crack in ages. Not since flight school.
Crack, cocaine, hidden, under, the flaps control. Not since flight school? You did crack cocaine in flight school and still got your license. Of course you did. Why wouldn't you? Marijuana, check. Ketamine, check. Beer, check. And now we're freebasing crack cocaine at 37,000 feet over the eastern seaboard. We're smoking crack in a commercial airliner with 300 people while drunk, while high, while listening to Guns N' Roses. This is it. This is the pinnacle of human stupidity. There is nowhere left to go. You've achieved maximum insanity. What's next? What could possibly be next? Fentanyl? Bath salts? Are you going to start huffing jet fuel?
Hello, my fellow stinky visitor, here in hell. I am smoking blonde Buddha Thai cannabis and drinking Raquel Welch, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines, which can only and always harm them, and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 2.9 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudo-scientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it. It's too fucking ugly to behold. Too fucking horrific. It's shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 67-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 4. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are flying at 37,000 feet in a commercial airliner en route to JFK International Airport in New York City with Captain Big Ted and his co-pilot Mike. Along for the ride in the jump seat is a 30-year veteran senior pilot named Bob. It has been a rather eventful flight, surely the most exciting trip Bob has ever experienced. And now Big Ted has let it be known that he has found a rock of crack cocaine which he had stashed in the housing of the flaps control on a previous flight. Bob is very worried about the implications of such a discovery. Big Ted says to Mike,
I'll hold off firing this up until we get closer to JFK. The workload is always heavy in that region, and that's when you need the calming benefits of crack the most. Know what I mean?
Roger that, bro. I'm pretty baked from this rainbow Oreos. I feel like going surfing. Shall we divert to the Gulf of Mexico? Maybe find an aircraft carrier to land on? And find a couple of boards and surf?
Don't we need to ask permission from the carrier before we land? I mean, they might think we're Iranian terrorists.
Nah, it's cool. They got eyes to see we're Melania Trump Airlines. You can't miss the flowers and cleavages painted all over the fuselage. What do you say? Shall we go for it?
Ted finishes off the spliff of rainbow Oreos, and as he exhales a massive cloud of smoke, he says,
Sure, okay, mate. Why the fuck not? I'm in no hurry to get to the hustle and bustle of New York City. As Richard Branson said, screw it, let's do it.
What? What did you just say? You're saving the crack for the approach, for the workload, the most critical phase of flight. Calming benefits of crack. Crack cocaine doesn't calm you. It makes your heart explode. It makes you paranoid. Aircraft carrier, Gulf of Mexico, surfing, Mike, Ted. You cannot land a wide-body commercial airliner on an aircraft carrier. The deck is too short. We don't have a tailhook. We'd go straight into the ocean. And they would think we're terrorists because we'd be an unannounced aircraft with no transponder diving towards a United States naval vessel. They'll shoot us down. F-18s, missiles, flowers and cleavages won't save us from a sidewinder, you murderous freaks. You want to abandon 300 passengers to go surfing after smoking crack. This isn't real. This can't be real. Ted, Mike, please stay on course to JFK. No carriers, no surfing, no crack. Please.
And Big Ted says to Mike,
Oi, we didn't turn off the transponder, did we, mate?
What? No. You asked me if we should, but I think we got distracted. Do you want me to shut her off?
Well, you know, air traffic control might get a wee bit worried if they see us divert from JFK to the Gulf. So yes, maybe you should.
Wait! The transponder is still on! Mike, don't you dare touch that switch! If you turn off that transponder and divert south, NORAD will scramble fighters. The military will think we're a hijacked aircraft, a terrorist threat. Do you understand what happens next? F-16s on our wingtips, orders to shoot us down if we don't comply, and you'll be too high to comply. 9/11 Ted, remember 9/11? Unauthorized aircraft, deviating from course with no transponder. They will kill us, all of us, 300 innocent people, because you want to go surfing. This isn't a game anymore, goddammit! This is a national security incident! This is fucking treason! This is death! Mike, I'm begging you, as one pilot to another, as a human being, do not touch that transponder! Stay on course! Land at JFK! Save these people! Please! God, please!
Big Ted and Mike burst out laughing, and Mike says,
Dude, 9/11 was an inside job. It was clearly a controlled demolition. Look at Building 7 as it fell into its own motherfucking footprint. Just like the Twin Towers, dude. And yet no plane crashed into it. It was the United States government attacking its own people to justify passing the Patriot Act, which eroded our civil liberties, my man, and all based on a false flag attack.
Inside job! Building 7! False flag! Mike, you lunatic! I don't care about your conspiracy theories right now. Whether it was real or fake, the military's response to unauthorized aircraft is very real. The missiles are real. The F-16s are real. You think when they see us divert south with no transponder, they're going to say, "Oh wait, let's discuss Building 7 first." No, they're going to blow us out of the sky. I don't care if you think the moon landing was fake. I don't care if you think Elvis is alive. I don't care if you believe in flat Earth. What I care about is the reality that if you turn off that transponder and go rogue, we all die. Ted, Mike, please put down the conspiracy theories, put down the drugs, put down the beer. Just fly this plane to JFK like normal human beings. Is that too much to ask? Is it?
F-16s? What are you on about, Bob? We've turned off the transponder on numerous flights and have never once been intercepted by the military.
Hell's bells. We're too fucking fast for them faggots. They never have a clue where we are. Honestly, Bob, you're a bit credulous, aren't you? Ever heard the phrase military intelligence? Everybody knows that's a complete fucking oxymoron. They don't have a clue, Bob. It's all a bluff like most things the government says or claims.
Ho, ho, ho! You need not worry, Bob. I can upload Hack RF or Blade RF to generate and transmit automatic dependent surveillance broadcast signals. We will be totally cozy and comfy, and they won't know a thing, not a sausage.
Numerous flights? You've done this before. Numerous times. You've regularly turned off transponders, regularly deviated, regularly flown high and drunk, and this is just normal for you? And you know how to spoof automatic dependent surveillance broadcast signals? Hack RF, Blade RF. You're not just reckless drug addicts. You're sophisticated criminals. You're using software-defined radio to generate false position data. How many flights? How many? How many times have you endangered passengers? How many times have you gotten away with this? Military intelligence is an oxymoron. You've been evading federal authorities while impaired for years. I thought this was a one-time catastrophe, but this is systematic. This is a pattern. This is who you are. And I'm powerless, completely powerless. You're going to spoof the signals, divert to the Gulf, go surfing, and no one will ever know. You're going to get away with it again, aren't you?
Should we inform the passengers of our diversion?
Fuck that, bruv. They are clueless NPCs. If anyone complains, we'll threaten to throw them out of the plane at 370. Right. Transponder is off. Ghosting software is loaded. Gulf of Mexico. Here we come. Want another beer?
Did you just threaten to murder passengers? Clueless NPCs? They're not non-player characters, Ted. They're human beings. They're people with families, with lives, with names. You're not just high anymore. You're not just reckless. You've crossed into psychopathy. You're talking about throwing people out of an aircraft. That's murder. Premeditated murder. That's what terrorists do. That's what mass murderers do. I have stood here and watched you violate every aviation regulation. I've watched you smoke drugs, drink beer, plan to smoke crack. I've watched you spoof ADS broadcast signals. I've listened to your insanity. But this, threatening to kill passengers, I'm going back to that cabin and I'm telling those NPCs, those human beings, exactly what's happening. I'm telling them their pilots are criminally insane and planning to divert to the Gulf.
Big Ted and Mike laugh uproariously, and Mike says to Bob,
Dude, the door's securely locked, so just chill out, bro. Chill, chill, chill. I really wish you'd take a hit or two of some cannabis and just relax. Big Ted and I are professionals at this.
That's right, mate. Bloody well right. We reckon we live in hell, and so we may as well push everything to the limit and have as much fun as possible. And look at us. We're still alive and well. Our records are blemish-free. We are impeccable aviators of the highest caliber. How can you have not noticed this?
Impeccable aviators! You think you live in hell, so you might as well do whatever you want? Ted, Mike, you are hell. You're not living in it. You're creating it. For me, for those passengers, for everyone who has the cosmic misfortune to share airspace with you. Blemish-free records! Blemish-free! Your records are clean because you've been hiding, spoofing, lying! You're like serial killers who haven't been caught yet bragging about their impeccable citizenship. And your philosophy. Push everything to the limit. That's not living. That's nihilism. That's sociopathy. That's what people say before they drive a bus full of children off a cliff. I'm trapped. I'm locked in a cockpit with two men who think they're in hell, who are making it hell, who want to smoke crack, land on carriers, threaten murder. And you want me to relax? To join you? You're not professionals. You're monsters wearing pilot uniforms.
Ah, shit, we're pretty cool, Bob. It just takes a little while to get to know us. Right, Mike? Hey, have you found the nearest aircraft carrier?
Yes, sir, Captain. I sure have. It's the USS Gerald R. Ford at 30.065 8 degrees north, 87.1812 degrees west.
Awesome, my man. I shall set our course for 30.0658 degrees north, 87.1812 degrees west.
No! No, 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 no! You're actually doing it! You're entering the coordinates! The USS Gerald R. Ford, a real carrier! The passengers are going to feel this turn. They're going to know something's wrong. We were heading to JFK. Now we're turning south. Ted, that carrier has CIWS systems, close-in weapon systems, automated defense, and 35 F-18s on the deck. They will defend that ship. You're flying a wide-body airliner, unannounced with a non-transponding spoofed position, directly at a US aircraft carrier. They'll think we're a weapon, a missile, a kamikaze attack. They will shoot us down before we get within 10 miles. 300 people, 300 innocent souls. You're flying them to their deaths so you can go surfing. Cancel that course. Turn back to JFK now. Please, this is murder. This is mass murder. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
Hello, hello. Hello, my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking Count Chocula coconut cannabis and drinking Kylie Page, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat or dog or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only and always harm them and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 6.9 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudo-scientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it. It's too fucking ugly to behold. Too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 68-storey luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 5. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are travelling on a commercial airliner at 37,000 feet with Captain Big Ted, co-pilot Mike, and jump seat passenger Bob, a veteran pilot. There are 365 souls on board and the plane has been scheduled to land at JFK International Airport in New York City. At the moment, the plane's coordinates have been modified to take a quick diversion to the aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford. Bob, a senior pilot with over 30,000 flying hours, has objected to the diversion and expressed his great displeasure about it, but has been convinced by Big Ted and Mike that they're going to the aircraft carrier, and that's that. Big Ted has replaced the Guns N' Roses tape with Out of the Cellar by the band Rat, and then Big Ted says to Mike,
I don't think we'll have enough fuel for JFK after we go surfing off the coast of Florida. Do you think the aircraft carrier will refuel us? Or should I contact the Tijuana cartel to refuel us mid-flight?
And co-pilot Mike replies,
What? No, dude. The carrier won't have the right kind of juice our bird needs. Better use your iPad and text the cartel.
Tijuana, cartel. You have a drug cartel on speed dial for mid-air refueling, mid-flight. They're going to refuel a commercial airliner mid-flight. With what? A flying tanker, a cartel-operated aerial refueling aircraft. This isn't even possible. This isn't how aviation works. You'd need a boom operator, specialized equipment, matching speeds, precise altitude, and you're coordinating with a drug cartel? So now we're not just flying high, spoofing signals, and heading to a carrier. We're also involved in international drug trafficking. You're texting them right now? Hey, Tijuana cartel, can you fuel up our stolen flight to nowhere? Thanks, Big Ted. What is this? What airline is this? Is Melania Trump Airways a front for narco aviation? Who are you people?
Dude, like take a chill pill. The Tijuana cartel is just the name of a random company that happens to refuel passenger jets who made an innocent slight miscalculation of their fueling needs. That's all. So don't be so anal. We've done this at least a dozen times.
Innocent slight miscalculation. Mike, you just said you've done this a dozen times. That's not a miscalculation. That's a pattern. That's systematic criminal negligence. And a random company that just happens to be called the Tijuana cartel? Oh yes, totally innocent. Probably run by a nice family. Completely legitimate. They just coincidentally chose the same name as one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in Mexico. And they operate mid-air refueling for commercial jets? What legitimate company does that? The FAA doesn't even certify that. It doesn't exist in civilian aviation. Don't be so anal. I'm anal. I'm the problem. For wanting to follow laws. For not wanting to consort with cartels. For preferring to not die. A dozen times. You've done this a dozen times. How? How have you not been caught? How are you still flying?
You know, Mike, I've been looking through the roster of flight attendants. And it seems there's a bird named Tiffany who is 18, just like your daughter. Do you think she might be able to give suggestions on what to get your girl for her upcoming birthday?
Well, fucking A, hombre. Of course she could. And while we have that perfectly innocent and polite discussion, perhaps old Bob here can go to the toilet or grab a bite to eat, right, Bob?
No! I know exactly what you're doing. This has nothing to do with birthday presents for Mike's daughter. You want me to bring an 18-year-old girl, barely an adult, probably her first job, into this locked cockpit, alone, with two impaired men, and then you want me to conveniently grab a bite to eat. I have watched you commit federal crimes. I've watched you endanger lives. I've watched you consort with cartels. But this is where I draw the line. Absolutely not. That young woman is an employee doing her job. She is not coming up here. Not now, not ever, not while I'm conscious. You want to fly to aircraft carriers? Fine. You want to smoke crack? I can't stop you. You want cartel refueling? Apparently that's your Tuesday. But you will not use me to facilitate harm to that girl. So no, Ted. No, Mike. I'm staying right here. And Tiffany is staying in the cabin where she's safe.
And Big Ted, who is 6 feet, 10 inches tall and weighs 345 pounds, gets out of his chair and walks up to Bob and smiles a becoming smile. Bob, unfortunately, begins to urinate, and presumably it's something he cannot control. Big Ted sticks his left hand, which is the size of a 15-inch skillet, and shows Bob his wedding ring, and then he points to Mike, who shows his wedding-ringed finger.
You're throwing around some mighty ripe accusations there, Bob. Me and Mike are married men with teenage children, and we don't like strange dudes. We don't fuck around. Got it?
I didn't. Ted, I'm sorry. The way you phrased it, youngest and prettiest, I thought, you're married. Mike's married. I misunderstood. But Ted, you have to understand everything that's happened. The ketamine, the threats to throw passengers out. The Old English 800. I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm standing in my own. You want to ask her about birthday presents? Fine. That's innocent. I believe you. I'm sorry. Just, please, step back. You're terrifying me, Ted. I'll go get Tiffany. I'll tell her you want gift advice for Mike's daughter. That's all. Just please, don't hurt me.
Attaboy, Bob. Go to the toilet and clean yourself up, dude. Show some fucking decorum, and then bring Tiffany up here for an innocent chat.
Free your mind, Bob, and your ass will follow.
And true to his word, Bob leaves the cockpit and changes his trousers in the toilet, and then finds Tiffany and brings her up to the cabin and introduces her to Big Ted and co-pilot Mike.
Tiffany, these are the, Captain Ted and First Officer Mike.
Hello. Lovely to meet you both.
They wanted to ask you about birthday presents for Mike's daughter. She's your age. Go ahead, gentlemen. Ask your questions. I'll just sit here.
And Big Ted gets out of his chair and approaches Bob while opening the door and says,
I thought you were going to step away and grab a bite to eat, Bob.
Yay, dude. I heard you were a man of your word. I hope I didn't hear wrong about you, brother.
Right. Yes. Of course. Man of my word. I'll go grab something to eat. You want to chat with Tiffany privately about birthday presents for your daughter? I'll be in the galley getting some pretzels or coffee or whatever passes for food on this flying circus. Tiffany, if you need anything, I'll be right outside. How long do you guys need for the birthday discussion? Never mind. Take your time. I'll just be out there. Enjoy your chat, gentlemen.
Big Ted locks the door and sits down, and he and Mike look at Tiffany up and down. They both smile lasciviously.
So, Tiffany, did anyone ever tell you that you look like the spitting image of Tracy Lords at 16?
Oh my god. No. Is she pretty?
And Big Ted shows her his iPad and says,
Here she is. See, lots of different examples.
But she isn't wearing any clothes in most of those pictures. But yes, I see what you mean. We do look very much alike. Same face, same eyes, same hair.
And look at those puffy pepperonis. If you'll pardon my perfectly clinical, innocent observation, right? Are yours like that?
And Tiffany begins to giggle and crosses her arms across her ample bosom.
Maybe. Is that weed I smell?
Absolutely, darling. Mikey can fire up a fresh spliff for you. Do you want a beer?
A beer? Yeah, okay, sure.
Big Ted reaches into the igloo and pulls out a beer and hands it to Tiffany, who drinks the can of 800 very fast. She is slightly tipsy, and Big Ted motions her to sit on his lap, and as she does so, Bob knocks at the door, and Big Ted buzzes him in. Bob can see that he's interrupting a party of sorts.
What? Tiffany! Why are you sitting on his lap? You gave her alcohol! She's on duty! She's a flight attendant! You can't just... Of course you gave her beer. Why wouldn't you? You've given me chloroform offers. You're drinking while flying. You've got crack hidden in the flap's control. Why not give alcohol to an 18-year-old employee? Tiffany, sweetie, you need to go back to the cabin. Now! You're tipsy. You're on duty. And these men are... They're...
I beg your pardon? Just who the hell do you think you're talking to, old man? You aren't the boss of me. You aren't my daddy.
She's got a point, bro. You're treading on thin ice, Bob. Very close to harassment, and you're not even on duty, dude. I think you better apologize to all of us, and then leave us for about an hour and a half so we can continue our innocent and productive discussion, which you so rudely interrupted.
And Big Ted says over his shoulder,
Don't make me have to stand up, Governor. Don't do it.
No! Stand up if you want, Ted. Hit me, break my jaw, crush my windpipe with your skillet hands. But I am not leaving an intoxicated 18-year-old employee alone in a locked cockpit with two impaired men for 90 minutes. You're right, Tiffany. I'm not your daddy. I'm not your boss. But I am a pilot with 3 decades of experience. And you are drunk on duty because they gave you alcohol. Harassment! Harassment! I'm trying to protect her from a situation that has every red flag imaginable. I've watched you commit crimes. I've wet myself in fear. I've done everything you've asked. But not this. This is the one thing I won't do. So yes, stand up, do what you're going to do. But Tiffany is coming with me now!
Big Ted receives a spliff of rainbow Oreos from Mike and takes a hit and then hands it to Tiffany, who tells Bob,
If you don't remove your hands from me, I am going to scream. You're creeping me out, mister.
You're right! I'm sorry! I shouldn't have grabbed you! Tiffany, I'm not trying to creep you out. You're drinking! Now you're smoking marijuana, on duty, in a locked cockpit. But you're telling me to back off! You're calling me the creep! Maybe I am. Maybe I've lost all perspective. Maybe trying to save people who don't want saving makes me the problem. Fine! Fine! Stay, smoke, drink, have your innocent discussion for 90 minutes. You win, Mike and Ted. Again! You always win. I'll be outside, not grabbing anyone, not harassing anyone, just sitting there, being the creepy old man who thought he was doing the right thing. Enjoy your party, Tiffany. I hope those gift ideas work out real swell.
and then, all of a sudden, before the door fully closes on Bob, Mike tells Big Ted,
Look at that, Ted! Starboard side! Are those drones, or am I just hallucinating?
and Big Ted leans over and looks out the window and says,
Holy shit, Governor. Those look like F-18s. Take evasive maneuvers immediately. Immediately.
Drones! F-18s! Oh my God! Those are Hornets! Naval fighters from the aircraft carrier! I told you! I told you this would happen! Unidentified aircraft approaching! A US carrier! They scrambled interceptors! Evasive maneuvers! Evasive! Mike, we're a commercial airliner! We can't outmaneuver F-18s! They're supersonic fighters! Turn on the transponder! Squawk 7700! Emergency! Identify as civilian! They're going to order us to divert, or they'll shoot us down! Tiffany, get to your seat! Brace position! Mike, don't do evasive! That makes us hostile! Level off! Wings level! Show we're compliant! 300 people! We have 300 people! They'll kill us all! Ted! Mike! Listen to me! Now! Comply! Squawk 7700! Identify yourselves! Do it!
Hello, hello! Hello, my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking vintage seeded 1981 Humboldt County skunk buds and drinking Kylie Page, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only, and always, harm them and never ever ever help them. And right this moment, another 3.9 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudoscientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it. It's too fucking ugly to behold. Too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 69-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 6. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are on board a commercial airliner flying at 37,000 feet near the Gulf of Mexico with 365 souls on board. The plane is being flown by Captain Big Ted and his co-pilot Mike. They have a jump seat passenger, a senior pilot named Bob. The flight was due to arrive at JFK International Airport in New York City at 1900 hours, but the pilots have decided to divert to the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier in the Gulf of Mexico so they can do a bit of surfing off the coast of the Florida Panhandle. Part 5 of our story ended with the aircraft being shadowed by what appeared to be US military fighter jets. The jump seat passenger, Bob, reckoned they were about to be shot down because Mike had shut off the plane's transponder. Captain Big Ted has told Mike to initiate evasive maneuvers, but Tiffany, an 18-year-old flight attendant who is visiting the cockpit to help Mike figure out what to get his daughter for her birthday, points at the fighter jet on the starboard wingtips and says,
That's not the U.S. military, you guys. The insignia looks Mexican or Spanish.
and suddenly through the radio speakers comes a voice asking,
¿Ordenó un servicio de repostaje?
and Captain Ted replies,
Sí, muchas gracias. Por favor, llénela hasta el máximo.
A voice through the speakers informs Big Ted.
Necesitarás colocar la aeronave boca abajo durante 15 minutos. ¿Has preparado a los pasajeros?
Captain Ted barks over his shoulder at Bob.
He needs us to prepare the passengers for flying upside down for 15 minutes. Go back in the cabin, Bob, and take Tiffany with you, and instruct those 365 souls to secure themselves.
And for the love of God, dude, try not to panic the passengers. Tell them this is perfectly normal for long-haul flights, and as long as they are strapped in, they will be snug as bugs in a rug. Just knock 3 times when everyone is ready.
Upside down! Upside down! You want me to tell 365 passengers that we're going to fly inverted for 15 minutes? Ted, Mike, commercial airliners can't fly upside down. The fuel system, the hydraulics, the engines, everything is designed for positive G-loads. And the passengers, people will fall out of their seats. Unsecured items will become projectiles. The overhead bins, the galley carts, everything. Snug as bugs in a rug. Mike, people will be hanging from their seatbelts, blood rushing to their heads, vomit raining upward, overhead bins exploding. Snug as bugs! Bugs don't fly upside down in metal tubes at 400 knots. So the cartel refueling is real, actual narco aviation with fighter escort, and their procedure is inverted flight. Come on, Tiffany, we need I need to tell 365 people this is perfectly normal for long-haul flights. Perfectly normal. This is hell. This is actual hell. 15 minutes inverted, with cartel refueling. God help us all.
Bob and Tiffany leave the cockpit, whilst Big Ted and Mike strap themselves in. They've done this many times before, and it never takes more than 15 minutes. They smoke a joint of rainbow Oreos whilst waiting for Bob to knock and let them know the passengers are ready for inversion. After a few minutes, Bob knocks 3 times and Big Ted buzzes him in.
They are all secured.
Bob straps himself into the jump seat and begins to rock back and forth.
Hey, Bob, where's Tiffany? You didn't abandon her to the NPCs, did ya? I didn't tell you to leave her with those animals.
What? You told me to prepare the passengers. You wanted her to help. She's strapped in with them, where she's safe. Animals? They're passengers, Ted. They're terrified. They think they're going to die. Tiffany is a flight attendant. She's with them doing her job. You wanted me to bring her back up here, to the cockpit, for an inverted refueling maneuver with a Mexican cartel. I secured her, in a seat, with a seat belt, like you asked. I did what you said. I told them it's normal. I told them snug as bugs. I lied to 365 people. And now you're angry I left her safe instead of bringing her to the most dangerous place on the aircraft during the most insane maneuver in aviation history? What do you want from me, Ted? What? She's safe. She's secured. Isn't that enough?
He's got a point, bro. There's nowhere up here for her to sit unless...
This is absurd. She can sit in my bloody lap, for Christ's sake. There's plenty of room, mate. It will be perfectly safe and innocent. I'll just keep my arms around her little waist and hold her really tight. I mean real tight, so she will feel safe and cozy, and she won't feel my bloodworm throbbing. I swear to God. Now, you're not going to start thinking any dirty or nasty thoughts about this, Bob, are you?
What? What the fuck is a bloodworm? No, Ted. Absolutely not. I don't care if you stand up. I don't care if you threaten me. I don't care about your innocent framing. An 18-year-old employee is not sitting on your lap while we go inverted. Period. Tiffany is strapped into her flight attendant station where she belongs, where she's safe. where there's no ambiguity about what's happening. You want extra security during inverted flight? She needs a proper 5-point harness at a certified station, not your lap, not your arms, around her waist. I've gone along with the ketamine and marijuana and Old English 800, the aircraft carrier, the cartel, refueling, the highway to hell, and the appetite for destruction. And now the upside-down flying. But this, no! Tell the cartel to wait. Tell them Tiffany stays where she is, or call off the whole thing. Those are your options, Ted. I'm done compromising on this.
It sounds like he's putting his foot down on this one, Captain. I don't think he's gonna budge, dude.
Well, come to think of it, if you and I are going to smoke some DMT during the refueling process, then I guess she'd only get in the way. Alrighty, Bob. She can stay at her station until the refueling process is finished.
Thank you. At least she'll be... Wait! DMT? DMT? You're going to smoke DMT during an inverted refueling operation. Dimethyltryptamine, the most powerful hallucinogen known to man. Complete ego death. Bewildering breakthrough experiences. Meeting interdimensional entities. And you're going to do this while flying upside down at 37,000 feet while a cartel tanker pumps jet fuel into us? Marijuana, ketamine, crack, beer, and now DMT. What's next? PCP, ayahuasca, mescaline. Are you going to commune with the self-dribbling machine elves while we're inverted? You'll be in hyperspace. You won't even know you're in an airplane. You'll think you're a crystalline geometric being. Oh, fuck. We're all going to die. Not maybe, not possibly. We are going to die.
Relax, bro. You don't lose consciousness when under the influence of DMT. We will be completely aware of our surroundings and totally in control of our faculties. It's a shame you're such a pussy about everything, Bob.
Alrighty then. I'll let them know we are ready. Ahora vamos a poner el avión cabeza abajo y puedes comenzar el proceso de reabastecimiento de combustible. And here we go, mates, flying into the wild blue yonder.
Mike steers the plane upside down, and a roar of screams can be heard from the passenger cabin, and Ted pulls out a glass pipe from his breast pocket. The two of them fumble a bit and laugh about it as they pass the pipe back and forth, whilst hanging upside down.
We need to take 5 strong, deep hits until we burst through the chrysanthemum and meet the Fabergé self-dribbling basketball machine elves. Hopefully it's not hoping against hope that we'll get to talk with Terence McKenna again.
Roger that. Good buddy. Let's vaporize our brains and trip the light fantastic. Let's get brain boiled.
They smoke their 5 hits and become silent. Bob has closed his eyes tight and is humming the Lord's Prayer. He is convinced this must be some sort of nightmare, and surely he will wake up safe in bed at any moment. But no. Suddenly alarms go off, and yet Big Ted and Mike seem oblivious. They are both staring at the console but cannot see it, and are not addressing the alarms. A mechanical voice yells out,
"Bank angle! Bank angle! Bank angle!"
and then the stick shaker activates.
Bank angle, stick shaker. Ted, Mike, respond. We're losing control. The aircraft is rolling. We're going to stall inverted. They're gone. They're completely gone. They're in DMT space.
Bank angle! Bank angle! Bank angle!
Oh God, we're stalling, upside down, with a refueling probe attached. Ted, Mike, snap out of it. The machine elves aren't real. I have to get to the yoke. Mike, wake up. We're dying, right now. 365 people. Tiffany and her beautiful puffy pepperonis. Everyone. I don't know how to fly inverted. I don't know what to do. Somebody help us. This is it. This is how we die. Mayday! Mayday! Mayday!
Hello, hello. Hello, my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking vintage-seeded 1982 Shasta County Christmas tree buds and drinking Christie Canyon, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat or dog or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines, which can only and always harm them and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 2.7 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudo-scientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it. It's too fucking ugly to behold, too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 70-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper? Perhaps a Hummer in the back seat of your car? Perhaps a swan dive off the summit of Beachy Head? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 7. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are in a commercial airliner at 37,000 feet. There are 365 souls on board, including cabin crew and the 2 pilots, Big Ted and his first officer, Mike. In the cockpit with the pilots is an off-duty senior pilot riding the jump seat, and his name is Bob. The flight was scheduled to land at JFK International at 1900 hours, but the pilots decided to make a quick diversion to the Gulf of Mexico, or Gulf of America, as President Donald J. Trump likes to call it. They plan on landing the Airbus A380 onto the aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, so the pilots can do a bit of surfing along the Florida Panhandle. When we last left them in Part 6, the airplane was being deliberately flown upside down for a routine mid-air refueling operation, and the 2 pilots appeared to be catatonic from smoking 5 hits apiece of DMT. The jump seat passenger, Bob, was beside himself with great fear and loathing. The bank angle warning had sounded off, and the stick shaker was shaking like crazy. And then a voice boomed over the radio.
Se ha completado el proceso de recarga. Ahora puede devolver el avión a su posición vertical normal. Gracias por utilizar el cartel de Tijuana. Antes de salir, ¿necesitas fentanilo?
The voice informed them. The refueling process was finished and they could return upright. Would they require any fentanyl? And with that, Big Ted and Mike snapped out of their DMT trip. Mike returned the plane to its upright position, and Big Ted replied to the radio message.
Gracias por su servicio rápido y eficiente. Sí, queremos 1 kilo de fentanilo, por favor.
He thanked them for their service and said yes, they would like 1 kilo of fentanyl, please. Bob, who is befuddled and relieved that the plane is upright, cannot understand Spanish. He asks Big Ted,
Are they finished? Is that it?
Yes, indeed, Bobby. Piece of cake. They wanted to know if we needed any fentanyl, and I told them we require 1 kilo, please. It shouldn't take but 2 minutes at the most.
They wanted to know if we needed fentanyl? 1 kilo of fentanyl? Ted, that's 2.2 pounds. That's enough to kill everyone in Silicon Valley. That's a weapon of mass destruction disguised as a drug. You just ordered 1 kilo of the most lethal opioid on Earth from a Mexican cartel while flying a commercial airliner. Of course you did. Why not? We've done everything else. Marijuana, ketamine, DMT, crack, refueling mid-flight, flying upside down for a blood-curdling, terrifying 15 minutes. Naturally, the next step is smuggling enough fentanyl to overdose half of California. What are you going to do with 1 kilo, Ted? Sell it, use it, sprinkle it on your cornflakes.
For your information, Bob, old Ted here is a certified MD and that fentanyl is for legitimate use only. Why do you always assume the worst about us, Bob? It's like you've got some sort of anal complex or I don't know what. But Jesus, Bob, can you just give it a rest?
You're so hung up about being a goody-goody and flipping the fuck out every 15 seconds that you haven't even asked us how that kilo of Fenty is gonna make it in here.
You're a doctor, Ted. You're a doctor. Oh, well, that changes everything. A certified MD who smokes crack, does ketamine and DMT while flying, drinks Old English 800, threatens to throw passengers out of planes, and orders kilos of fentanyl from cartels. I'm sure your medical license is in perfect standing, probably framed right next to your impeccable aviator certificate. Legitimate use! Legitimate! For what? Are you planning to perform emergency surgery at 37,000 feet? Open a pain clinic in the cabin? And you're right, Ted. You're absolutely right. I haven't asked the really important question. How is a kilo of fentanyl going to make it into this aircraft while we're flying? Are they going to throw it at us? Fire it from a cannon? Teleport it using cartel magic? Please, enlighten me, because clearly I don't understand anything anymore.
It's really quite simple, Bob. This Airbus A380 allows Mike to open his side window, which will enable the refueling aircraft to send a vacuum tube to the window and send through 32 single-ounce packages of our magic Fenty and Bingo Bango. It's all sorted.
Of course you can open the window. An Airbus A380 flying at 37,000 feet, opening the cockpit window to receive a pneumatic tube delivery, a vacuum tube, like a bank drive-through at flight level 370 while flying at 500 miles per hour. Of course, 32 ounces of fentanyl from a cartel refueling aircraft. Bingo bango! It's all sorted! Why would that not make sense? Everything else has been perfectly logical. Marijuana, ketamine, DMT, inverted refueling, Dr. Ted, MD, ordering controlled substances from Mexican cartels, mid-flight. Ted, if Mike opens that window, we'll have violent decompression. The cabin will depressurize. Everyone's oxygen masks will drop. We'll all suffocate. The pressure differential is massive. It'll rip people towards the opening. They might get sucked out. It will cause a catastrophic structural failure. But fuck it! Fuck it! Fuck it! Fuck it! Just open the window, Mike. Let the vacuum tube come through. Accept your kilo of death powder. I'll just sit here, quietly, not being anal, not flipping out. I'll just take a little snooze. Wake me when we land, or crash, or get arrested, or when the machine elves return. Whichever comes first. Bingo bango! It's all sorted! Of course it is!
Oh, for fuck's sakes, Bob. Are you intentionally trying to insult us? Do you honestly think we're stupid or something? We don't have any intention of opening the window at this altitude. That would be absolute suicide. I'm gonna descend this bird into an emergency drop to flight level 100 in perfect synchronized tandem with our refueler, and he'll send the tube over. I'll pop open the window and receive our medicine, and then disconnect, shut the window, and jack us back up to 370. You really do underestimate us, don't you, Bob? You fucking prick!
An emergency descent from 37,000 feet to 10,000 feet in synchronized tandem with a cartel plane right after we just flew upside down for 15 minutes while you smoked DMT. Mike, the passengers, they just survived inversion. They're traumatized, terrified, and now you're going to put them through an emergency descent. Their ears will explode. Think about the cabin altitude change, the G-forces. People will think we're crashing, and you'll be flying in formation with a cartel aircraft, both descending at high speed. Then you'll pop open the window at 10,000 feet, which is still dangerous, just not instantly fatal, to receive fentanyl through a pneumatic tube. Our medicine, right, your medicine. Do I underestimate you? No, Ted, Mike, I don't underestimate you anymore. You're capable of anything. Do it! Emergency descent. Get your kilo. I'll just sit here and pray.
Big Ted calls out to Mike.
Disengage autopilot. Set engines to idle and deploy the speed brakes.
10-4, good buddy. Shall we warn the passengers about their oxygen masks dropping?
What? The NPCs? Oh shit, Mike. I forgot all about them. But no, come to think of it, no. Let them be surprised. We don't want to panic them. That's the last thing we want to do. Right, Bob?
No! No, 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 no! Ted, Mike, you have to warn them! The oxygen masks will drop! They'll think we're crashing! They'll think they're dying! They just hung upside down for 15 fucking minutes! They're already traumatized! And now you're going to slam them into an emergency descent with no warning? Children, Mike! There are children back there! Elderly people! People with heart conditions! They'll have panic attacks! Heart failures! Don't want to panic them! They're going to be terrified! Screaming! Praying! Thinking these are their final fucking moments! Just make an announcement! Ladies and gentlemen, we're descending! Please remain calm! That's all, Ted! Please! They're not NPCs! They're people! They deserve to know! Please! Just tell them first! Tell them!
Mike sets the engines to idle and the plane plummets as a cacophony of screaming can be heard from the passenger cabin. Big Ted grabs a can of Old English 800 from the igloo for himself and hands one to Mike as well, and they open their cans in unison and chug them in one fell swoop. They reach flight level 100 in 4 minutes and hook up with the refueler, receive the pneumatic tube and their 2.2 pounds of fentanyl, and then disconnect and return to flight level 370. Big Ted starts talking about Tiffany and wondering if she's all right.
Hey, Bob, you can't do us a favour, can you? And go back there and check to see if Tiffany is okay. I really feel guilty about leaving her to fend for herself with the NPCs. But there wasn't any room here in the cockpit, right?
Check on Tiffany! Right! After the emergency descent, after the terror, after the oxygen masks dropped, after 365 people thought they were dying. Yes, Ted, I'll check on Tiffany. And everyone else who just lived through that nightmare. Wasn't any room in the cockpit! You're right, there wasn't room in the cockpit. Between you, Mike, the beer cooler, the ghetto blaster, the crack pipe, the DMT pipe, and now 2.2 pounds of fentanyl, there definitely wasn't room for an 18-year-old flight attendant. You have a kilo of fentanyl now, enough to kill millions of people. But sure, I'm worried about Tiffany too. I'll go check on her and the other 364 NPCs who just experienced the most terrifying 4 minutes of their lives. Maybe some of them are injured. Maybe some had heart attacks. Maybe some are catatonic with fear. But at least you got your medicine, Dr. Ted. At least you got your medicine.
And with that, Bob leaves the cockpit to check on Tiffany.
Hey, Ted, do you want to burn another rainbow Oreos?
Absolutely, mate. Yes, put flame to that spliff and send Red Rover right over.
Bob returns to give his report, and Ted buzzes him in.
Tiffany is alive, physically unharmed. She's also sobbing uncontrollably, as are approximately 200 other passengers. Multiple people vomited during the descent. An elderly man thinks he had a heart attack. We don't know yet. A child wet himself again. A mother is clutching her baby and can't stop crying. Oxygen masks are still deployed everywhere. People are calling their families, leaving what they thought were final messages. Several passengers want to speak to the pilots. They want to know what happened. They want explanations. They want answers. And you know what I told them, Ted? Mike? I told them it was a routine descent due to air traffic requirements. I lied. To 365 terrified people. I covered for you. Again! So yes, Tiffany is okay. If by okay, you mean traumatized, but breathing. Anything else you need to know?
Jesus Christ, Bob. Did I ask you about the other passengers? No, I asked you to perform the simplest of tasks and just find out what happened to Tiffany. I didn't inquire about the NPCs, did I, Bob? And where is she? Where is my Tiffany? Why didn't you bring her to me?
Your Tiffany! She's not yours, Ted. She's an employee, a traumatized 18-year-old who just survived the worst flight of her life. And no! I'm not bringing her up here! Not now! Not while you're high! Not while you're drinking! Not while you're calling her my Tiffany, like she's your property! She needs to stay at her station. She needs to help the other flight attendants manage 365 terrified passengers. She needs to do her actual job, You want to check on her? Use the intercom, call her station, ask if she's okay, like a normal person. But I am not bringing her into this locked cockpit so you can... The answer is no, Ted. She's safe where she is, and that's where she's staying. Hit me if you want, stand up, threaten me, but Tiffany is not coming up here.
Big Ted gets up out of his seat and walks towards the door, and Bob cowers in the corner like a frightened dog, but Ted ignores him.
Let me out, Mike. I'll go get her and be back in a minute, unless we get distracted by something in the restroom. I hope not. Are you sure you don't want to go get her for us, Bob?
I'll get her! I'll bring Tiffany up here! You're still impaired from the DMT and the marijuana! If passengers see you stumbling through the cabin looking for a flight attendant, they'll panic worse than they already are! You stay here with Mike. You're needed at the controls. I'll bring her. She's probably scared out of her mind.
I don't know, Ted. My spidey sense is ringing like crazy. I don't think Bob has your best interests at heart. I get the sense he wants to shield Tiffany from you. I think you better go get her, bro.
Is that right, Bob? Are you trying to shield her from me? Are you the 37,000-foot morality nanny on this flight?
Shield her from you! Ted, I'm trying to shield everyone from everything, all the time. It's all I've done this entire flight. But you're right! Yes! Part of me doesn't want you wandering through that cabin. Not because I think you're some predator after some barely legal poontang, as you call it, but because you're high, you're drunk, you've been smoking DMT and marijuana and drinking Old English 800 malt liquor, and if 365 traumatized passengers see their captain stumbling around looking for a flight attendant, they will lose their minds. They'll riot. They'll try to break into the cockpit. They'll think we've completely lost control. And Mike's right here. You're the captain. One of you needs to stay on the flight deck at all times. That's not morality. That's regulations. So yes, I want to get Tiffany myself, to keep you here, to keep the passengers calm, to maintain some semblance of order. But if you don't trust me, fine. Go get her yourself. I give up.
Yes, I think I better do it myself. But I will disguise myself. I will put on this baseball hat backwards, plaster on this fake Salvador Dali mustache, put on these wraparound sunglasses, and presto, what do you think, Bob? There won't be any panic amongst the passengers. They'll never know I'm the captain.
That's your disguise? A backwards baseball cap, a fake mustache, and sunglasses. Ted, you're 6 feet 10 inches tall. You weigh 345 pounds. You're wearing a captain's uniform. A mustache isn't going to hide that. You look like a giant child playing dress-up, or a drug dealer, or... The passengers have been staring at this cockpit door for hours, wondering who's flying them. And you think a Salvador Dali mustache will make you invisible? They'll think you're a hijacker, a madman who broke into the cockpit. They'll attack you.
What? Hey, Mike, do I look all right? Do you think the NPCs will freak out?
You said it yourself, dude. They're NPCs, automatons. So who gives a flying fuck through a rolling donut what they think? I don't even think they know how to think.
And with that, Big Ted laughs and leaves the cockpit, shutting the door behind him. Mike pulls out a pocket-sized bong and fills the bowl with rainbow Oreos marijuana and proceeds to rip a few hits and cough his head off. He then offers it to Bob, who simply shakes his head, no, leans his head back against the wall and closes his eyes. About 30 minutes goes by in silence, and Big Ted returns with Tiffany, who is now dressed in a very short, checkered black and white skirt and a white tube top. She appears to be very happy. Big Ted sits down in his chair with a Cheshire grin, like the cat who got the cream, and Tiffany hops onto his lap and grabs the yoke and says,
Broom, broom, broom. I want to fly the plane, Ted. Can I fly the plane, please? Oh, please, oh, please. I promise I won't do anything stupid.
Somehow, I don't know. I don't think that would sit too well with Bob, unless, of course, Bob needs to leave the cockpit and go grab a bite to eat. What do you think, Bob?
What? No, absolutely not. Tiffany, get your hands off those controls. Ted, have you lost your last functioning brain cell? She's not a pilot. She has zero flight training. She doesn't even know what half these instruments do. This is an Airbus 380, the largest passenger aircraft in the world, with 365 people on board. And you want to let an 18-year-old flight attendant go broom broom with the controls? One wrong move, one accidental input. She could put us into a dive, a stall, a spin. Tiffany, sweetie, I know it looks fun, but this isn't a video game. These controls are live. Every movement affects 365 lives. Get her off the yoke now. This is insane, even by your standards. Mike, please tell me you're not actually considering this. We've survived unbelievable odds so far. Don't push our luck over the edge. Don't do it, Mike.
Hello, hello. Hello, my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking vintage seeded 1978 Colombian gold and drinking Marilyn Mansions, cups of love, coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit, to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only and always harm them, and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 2.7 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudoscientific diagnostic tests, which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it, you goddamn NPCs. It's too fucking ugly to behold, too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 71-storey luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper, perhaps a delivery of some kick-ass weed, or what about a swan dive off the summit of Beachy Head? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 8. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are still at 37,000 feet in a commercial airliner over the Gulf of America. The captain is Big Ted and his first officer is Mike. They have a jump seat passenger named Bob, who is a senior pilot and not on duty. Also in the cabin is an 18-year-old flight attendant named Tiffany. The flight was scheduled to land at JFK at 1900 hours, but has made a slight diversion and is headed for the aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, positioned in the Gulf of America. The pilots fancy a bit of surfing off the Florida Panhandle. But Bob does not approve, and Tiffany has just asked Big Ted if she can fly the plane. Bob objects to this on the grounds that she has not received any training on how to fly the Airbus A380.
Oh my god. For your information, Mr. Goody-Goody, I have been playing fly-by-wire for, oh my god, the past 2 weeks, and have become, so proficient. Aside from a few inconsequential and meaningless throttle calibration issues, I'm a fucking pro. I'm as good as any pilot, with 30,000 hours under his belt.
Fly-by-wire! The video game! Tiffany, that's a simulator! A game! It's not the same as flying an actual Airbus 380 with real human lives. 2 weeks! You've been playing for 2 weeks! I've been flying for 30 years! 30,000 hours of actual flight time in actual aircraft! Throttle calibration issues! In the real world, those aren't inconsequential. They're the difference between controlled flight and crashing into the bloody ground. You can't pause a real airplane. You can't reload a save. When you crash in real life, 365 people perish. Ted, please, she doesn't understand. She thinks a video game makes her qualified. Get her away from those controls before she accidentally disconnects the autopilot or changes our heading or... Please, this is insane.
Well, for your information, Bob, our dedicated source of real news and not that fake news bullshit from the mainstream media, is The Onion. And they published a report today from Johns Hopkins University, which highlights the irrefutable fact that airline students who snort at least 1/3 of a gram of ketamine in a single session can learn the equivalent of 5 years of flight training in the space of 10 minutes.
The Onion! The Onion! Mike, The Onion is satire. It's a comedy website. It's fake news on purpose. That's the entire point. Johns Hopkins didn't publish that because it's not real. Ketamine doesn't give you flight training. It makes you hallucinate and dissociate. You're using satirical articles as your source for aviation safety. What's next? Are you going to cite the Babylon Bee? Oh, God. Oh, no. You're going to give her ketamine, aren't you? You're going to give Tiffany ketamine and let her learn to fly in 10 minutes? No! 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 She's 18 years old. She's a flight attendant. She doesn't need drugs. She doesn't need to fly. The Onion isn't real news. Ketamine isn't flight training. And Tiffany isn't a pilot. Please stop this madness.
But see, that's where you're wrong, Bob. The Onion and Babylon Bee did not endorse the scamdemic of 2020. Nor did they advocate the public receive the clot shot poison needle COVID vaccines, whereas CNN and the BBC and the Wall Street Journal all supported the mandating of wearing 2 masks and standing 6 feet apart and getting bloody fucking assaulted and jabbed with synthetic chemicals that simply cannot be biologically beneficial in any way whatsoever.
We're having a COVID debate. Now, what does COVID have to do with flying an airplane? Ted, we are 37,000 feet over the Gulf of Mexico, or America, or whatever the shit it is called. Tiffany is sitting on your lap, clearly not wearing any knickers, and wanting to fly an Airbus 380 based on video game experience. You have a kilo of fentanyl in this cockpit. We just flew upside down. You're planning to smoke crack on approach. Ted, I don't care about your opinions on masks or vaccines or the BBC. We're not having a political debate. We're talking about whether a flight attendant who played a video game for 2 weeks should fly a commercial airliner. The Onion being right or wrong about COVID doesn't mean their joke article about ketamine flight training is true. It's satire, satire, comedy, made up, fictional. Holy mother of all fuckery! You're conflating media criticism with aviation safety. Those are completely different things. Listen, mate, even if CNN lied about everything, even if the BBC is propaganda, even if masks were useless, none of that means ketamine gives you flight training. This isn't about politics, Ted. This is about physics, aerodynamics, actual reality. Please, please don't give Tiffany ketamine and let her fly.
And suddenly, a voice squawks over the speakers.
Aviso, aviso. Usted está ingresando a espacio aéreo restringido mexicano. Identifíquese ahora o será interceptado.
He says we have violated Mexican airspace and wants us to identify ourselves or face interception, the bloody cheek.
Oh my god, like what a cool accent. Can I talk to him, Ted? Please. I want to say Heidi hi, Mr. Mexico. Welcome to our airspace.
They're going to intercept us. Ted, Mike, respond to them. And no, Tiffany, you cannot talk to them. Welcome to our airspace. It's their airspace. We're the ones intruding. We're an unidentified aircraft near Mexican territorial waters. They think we're a threat, a rogue aircraft. They're going to scramble interceptors. That means military aircraft, Mexican F-5 Tigers. They'll force us down or shoot us down. Ted, you speak Spanish. Respond. Identify as civilian. Tell them we're... How do we even explain this? We're heading to a US carrier with spoofed transponders, carrying cartel fentanyl, and intending on surfing off the Florida coast. Just respond before they shoot us down. Ted, Mike, do something.
How do we know it's not a hoax, Ted? I mean, I thought you loaded the ghost software and jammed anyone's attempts to track us or identify us. Dude, I seriously doubt it's real.
Well, mate, If it is a hoaxer, we'll find out. I'll ask him to sing the Mexican national anthem. Only a legitimate Mexican authority will be able to do so.
Oh my god, like, this is so much fun. I feel like I'm in a real movie, you know?
Escucha, amigo, no creemos en tu identidad. Si de verdad tienes autoridad en el espacio aéreo mexicano, canta el himno nacional mexicano completo.
You're asking them to sing? Ted! That's not how you verify military authority. You don't make them perform like it's a talent show. They're going to think we're mocking them, insulting them. They'll be furious. And Tiffany, this isn't a movie. This is real life, our only life. And Mexican fighters, real F-5 Tigers, could be scrambling right now. Real missiles, real guns. For fuck's sakes, Mike, it's not a hoax. Mexican military monitors their airspace. The ghost software doesn't make us invisible to radar. It just spoofs our position. You just challenged Mexican military aviation to sing for you, to prove themselves. They're going to interpret this as hostility, as disrespect, as an attack. Oh my God! Apologize! Take it back! Identify properly! Ted, you've just made everything worse!
Advertencia, advertencia. Estamos en la Secretaría de la Defensa Nacional. Se han desplegado recursos militares. Identifíquense, identifíquense o arriesguense a ser derribado.
That accent makes me hot.
He says he's with the Secretaría de la Defensa Nacional and has deployed some military assets to check us out. Wants us to identify ourselves. But that's not the right answer, is it, mate?
They're deploying military resources! They're threatening to shoot us down! Ted, Mike, they're not singing! They're scrambling fighters! Secretaría de la Defensa Nacional, that's their defense ministry! And you think the accent is hot? Tiffany, they're threatening to kill us! All of us! 365 people! This isn't flirting! This isn't a dating app! This is the Mexican military preparing to blow us out of the sky! Respond! Properly! Apologize for the anthem request! Identify as Melania Trump Airways! Give our flight number! Something! They're going to shoot! They're authorized to shoot! Ted! For the love of God! Stop playing games and identify us! Now before they fire!
He didn't sing the anthem, Bob. And that's because he doesn't know it. And that's because he's some jerk-off kid in his mom's basement having a laugh, dude.
I'll blow his mind and talk to him in German. Hör zu, du Arschloch. Du hast keine Ahnung, mit wem du dich anlegst. Ich bin der Gott des Höllenfeuers und verdamme deine Seele zur Hölle, weil du unseren schönen Nachmittag im weiten blauen Himmel gestört hast. Verlass diese Frequenz sofort und verpiss dich mit einem Kaktus zu deiner Mutter.
Oh, wow, Ted. I didn't know you were so cosmopolitan.
Well, everyone knows a bit of German, don't they, Bob?
You just responded to the Mexican military in German and told them to go fuck their mother with a cactus? Ted, they don't speak German. They speak Spanish. You just made it worse. It's not a kid in a basement. It's the Secretaría de la Defensa Nacional, the Defense Ministry of Mexico. They're tracking us on radar. They see an unidentified aircraft near their airspace. And you just insulted them in a completely different language. You just told Mexican military that you damned their souls to hell. That's not sophisticated. That's suicidal. They're going to fire any second now. Missiles. We're all going to die.
Hello, 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 my fellow stinky visitor, here in hell. I am smoking vintage seeded 1976 Oaxacan Gold and drinking Barbara Eden, cups of love coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat or dog or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines, which can only and always harm them and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 5.8 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudoscientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results. that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it, you goddamn NPCs. It's too fucking ugly to behold, too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cozy, and quite safe in my 72-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty supper? Perhaps a delivery of some kick-ass weed? Or what about a swan dive off the summit of Beachy Head? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 9. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. Here's the rundown. We're on a commercial passenger jet with 365 people and we are flying at 37,000 feet. The captain is Big Ted and his first officer is Mike. Along for the ride in the jump seat is an off-duty senior pilot named Bob, and sitting on the captain's lap is 18-year-old flight attendant Tiffany, who just so happens to be a Tracy Lords, at 16, look-alike. Part 8 of our story ended with the plane being under threat from the Mexican military because Big Ted and Mike refused to identify themselves. Bob is worried about this because the Mexican authorities have threatened to shoot down the plane.
You know, I've been thinking, Mike. Do us a Google search, will you? And find out how to lose these fighter jets?
All right, bro. I'll ask it. How would an Airbus 380 outmaneuver fighter jets?
I want to smoke some weed. I want to get high. I want to get brain boiled to the max.
Oh, no, bro. It says the A380, as the world's largest passenger airliner, prioritizes efficiency, stability, and passenger comfort over agility. Its massive size and weight up to 575 tons and long, wide wings make it inherently less responsive and far too heavy to match fighter jet performance.
What a load of bollocks. I must be stoned because I don't know why I told you to use Google. Everyone knows they are as compromised as Wikipedia.
Dude, I'll ask that Babylon Bee website. They've got a science section, and we already know from experience that they are totally honest and reliable.
Is someone, gonna fire up some weed? Or what?
Hey, Ted, check this out. It says, while the A380 cannot match fighter jet acceleration, it could enter a controlled high-speed dive, using its immense weight and aerodynamic efficiency to rapidly gain speed and potentially force fighters to overshoot if they're not careful. The pilot might also attempt terrain masking, which means flying at low altitude to hide from radar, or diving into thick cloud cover or severe weather, which could disrupt radar lock or force fighters to break off for safety.
Well done, bruv. That's exactly what we'll do. We'll initiate a controlled high-speed dive. But I think we might need to psych ourselves up a wee bit and snort a mix of ketamine and Fenty. What do you say, mighty mate?
Babylon Bee! The Babylon Bee! That's a satire site! It's fake news! It's Christian comedy! They don't have a real science section! And Google was right! The Airbus 380 cannot outmaneuver fighters! We're a 575-ton passenger aircraft, and they are supersonic combat jets! And terrain masking! Ted! That means flying low, near the ground, near the water! We'll hit the ocean! And excluding that, you want to fly into a storm to escape the F-5 Tigers? And you want to snort ketamine and fentanyl before attempting a high-speed dive?
I want to snort some. I've never tried fentanyl, but I hear, it's super cool and trendy.
Fentanyl is an opioid. It slows breathing. It causes respiratory depression. Mixed with ketamine, you could overdose and die. And you want to do this, Ted, while piloting a dive with 365 people? No! No, no, no! Don't snort anything! Don't dive! Don't trust the Babylon Bee! Just identify to the Mexicans! Please! We can't outrun the fighters!
And just then, a voice with a Spanish accent spoke through the radio.
Aquí la Secretaría de la Defensa Nacional. Peligro, peligro. Están violando el espacio aéreo mexicano. No han identificado su aeronave ni sus intenciones. Tienen una última oportunidad para cumplir e identificarse, o serán hallados en puntos. Identifíquense. Identifíquense. This is Secretariat of National Defense. Danger, danger. You are in violation of Mexican airspace. You have failed to identify your craft and intentions. You have one last chance to comply and identify yourselves, or you will be blown to smithereens. Identify, identify.
They're speaking English now! They're giving us one last chance! Ted, Mike, they said smithereens! They're going to fire missiles! This is the final warning! Respond! Identify! Melania Trump Airways, civilian aircraft! Forget the dive! Forget the fentanyl! Forget the Babylon Bee! Identify us right now, or we all die! Ted, put down the drugs! Get on that radio! Save these people! Save 365 souls! Save Tiffany! Save everyone! Please, please, just talk to them! Apologize! Identify! We have seconds! Mike, help me! Make him respond!
Bob, are you tripping out, dude? Do you need some chloroform?
This is it! This is the end, unless someone identifies us! Ted! The radio! Now! Please, God, please!
Bob, Bobby, Robert. For bloody hell's sakes, why must you always panic? We've got this, bruv. We're gonna drop this bitch to 100 feet above the Gulf and cruise under the radar until we can land on the USS Gerald R. Ford. Now, strap yourself in and close your eyes. Tiffany, hold daddy tight. I mean, real tight. That's it. Okay, chaps, here we go. Call it out, Mike.
10-4. Autopilot disengaged. Engines set to idle. Speed brakes activated. But guess what we forgot, Ted?
I don't know, Mike. What did we forget?
We forgot to warn the passengers. But that's only because NPCs are so easy to forget. So fuck them. Hold on, motherfuckers. Here we go.
100 feet above the water! Ted, that's suicide! One mistake, one wave, one miscalculation, and we hit the ocean at 500 miles per hour. No, Mike! Autopilot disengaged! Your hand flying a dive to sea level? The passengers! They just survived a fucking inversion! They just survived an emergency descent! Now another dive! Oh God, we're diving! We're actually diving! Oh God! Altitude unwinding! 35,000! 30,000! 25,000! Ted! You're still high! You're about to snort fentanyl! Your reaction time is impaired! They're screaming again! They think we're crashing! 100 feet! You want to fly at 100 feet? Over water! In an Airbus! 380! 100 feet! We're all going to die! This is it! This is how it ends! Pull up! Pull up! Please!
And just then, a mechanical voice says,
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
Oh yay. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up your panties.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up your panties.
Sing along, everyone. Pull up, pull up, pull up.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
Oh my sweet Jesus! That's the ground proximity warning! That's not a song! That's a warning! Stop singing! It's telling us to actually pull up! We're too close to the water! Tiffany, Mike, Ted, this isn't a game! This isn't karaoke!
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
The computer is warning us! We're about to crash! 15,000 feet! 10,000! 5,000! Pull up means pull the nose up, not sing along!
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
You're turning a catastrophic warning into a party! 3,000 feet! 2,000! 1,000! Ted! Mike! Pull the nose up! Stop singing and fly!
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
Pull up.
Pull up.
Pull up.
We're going to hit the water! We're going to die! Stop singing! Pull up! Please, God, pull up!
Hey. Look at this, Mike. We're skimming inches above the Gulf of Mexico in an Airbus 380. We left those fucking taco munchers in the dust. They're lost. Those beaners are gone for good.
Yay! Can we get loaded now? Please, Teddy Betty.
Out of sight, Ted. But do you know what? It just occurred to me, dude, that the USS Gerald R. Ford might not be long enough to land safely on, you know?
What you on about, mate? The speed brakes and thrust reversers will make it a piece of cake. I mean, shit, bruv. I know a pilot for British Airways that can land a 380 in a McDonald's parking lot. So chill, bro. We got this. Fire up a spliff of rainbow Oreos and let's celebrate.
Cerebral celebration time. Let's get high. Let's get high.
Mike, you're right! The carrier deck is 1,092 feet long. A 380 needs 9,000 feet to land safely. Ted, a McDonald's parking lot! That's impossible! No pilot can land a 380 in a parking lot! It's physically impossible! The wingspan alone is 262 feet! And the carrier deck is too short, even with speed brakes and thrust reversers! We'll overshoot! We'll go straight off the fucking deck into the bloody ocean! We need a tail hook! We need an arresting cable! We need to be an F-18, not a wide-body airliner! Abort this! Find an actual airport! Pensacola! New Orleans, anywhere! With a real runway! Please, Ted! Listen to Mike! He's right! We can't land on a motherfucking aircraft carrier!
Hello, 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 my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking vintage seeded 1979 blonde Buddha Thai sticks and drinking Bo Derek cups of love coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat or dog or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines, which can only and always harm them and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 5.8 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake, pseudoscientific diagnostic tests, which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it, you goddamn NPCs. It's too fucking ugly to behold. Too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 73-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty bite to eat. Perhaps a ride on a hot air balloon. Or what about a swan dive off the summit of Beachy Head? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 10. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are flying inches above the Gulf of Mexico in an Airbus 380, being piloted by Captain Big Ted and his first officer Mike. With them in the cockpit is a jump seat passenger named Bob, who is a senior pilot. He is off duty and merely catching a free ride to the scheduled destination of JFK International. On the captain's lap is an 18-year-old flight attendant named Tiffany. Because the plane is so low to the water, the ground proximity alarm is telling the pilots to
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Can someone shut that damn thing off? It's starting to get on my tits.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
No worries, darling. I'll just reach over here and turn off the GPWS, and there we go.
Do you want me to ascend to cruising altitude, Ted?
What the hell for? I rather enjoy this perspective, don't you? It reminds me of jet skiing, but without getting wet. I think we should be okay at this level until the USS Gerald R. Ford comes into view.
I respect your impeccable aviator's history, but I gotta tell you, Ted, I think that carrier's deck is just a tad bit short for our needs.
I want to smoke some marijuana, and I want to smoke it now.
Well, now, I respect your impeccable history too, Mike. And so if you think it'll be too short, then maybe we should look for a beach to land on.
You turned off the ground proximity warning system? Ted, that's our only warning if we get too close to the water. It's a critical safety system. Now we're flying inches above the Gulf with no terrain warnings. Jet skiing! This isn't jet skiing! All it takes is one wave, one swell, one seabird, and we're in the water. Yes, Mike, ascend! Get us up! 37,000 feet, anywhere but here! And no marijuana! Nobody smokes anything! We're flying at wave top level!
Is that like stovetop stuffing?
And a beach! Ted, you want to land a 380 on a beach? It's only soft sand. The gear will sink, we'll nosedive, we'll flip over, or break apart. 365 people will be scattered across the shoreline. Mike's right. Jesus Christ! The carrier's too short, but a beach is suicide. We need a real airport. Pensacola, Mobile, New Orleans. Airports with proper runways, not sand, not aircraft carrier decks. Please, climb, find an airport before we hit a wave.
Look, mate, you can't have it both ways. You say the carrier's too short, but the beach is suicide. Would you rather I just sink us into the Gulf? Go on, Bob. Your call. The beach or the carrier or the water. 3, 2, 1, go!
3 seconds? You're giving me 3 seconds to choose how we die. The beach! The beach! At least on a beach, there's sand and emergency services can reach us. People might survive. If you choose the carrier, we overshoot into the ocean. If you choose the water, we sink immediately. Everyone drowns. Find a wide, flat beach with hard-packed sand. Maybe Daytona. Somewhere with lots of space. But climb first. Get us to safe altitude. Find the best beach. Scout it. Don't just slam us into the first patch of sand you see. I can't believe I'm choosing a beach landing as the best option. This is insane. This is insane. Beach. Find a beach, but do it right. Please.
Righty-ho, the beach it is. Do us a favour, mate, and mix us a bit of K with some Fenty, and I'll look for a suitable beach to land on.
Aye, aye, Captain. But I should let you know that we're losing a lot of fuel flying this low. I think we're approaching a moral dilemma, and maybe our morality police officer, Bob, should be the one to confront it. Do we call in the Tijuana cartel for another refueling, or do we chuck some passengers off to lighten our load?
There's quite a few elderly, stinky, old, decrepit NPCs who probably wouldn't mind a late afternoon dip in the pool.
Did you just suggest throwing passengers out? Mike, Tiffany, that's murder. That's mass murder. You're talking about killing actual human beings. Elderly, stinky NPCs? Tiffany, those are people, grandparents, someone's mother, someone's father, and you want to throw them into the Gulf to lighten the load? And what's this shit about a moral dilemma? There's no fucking dilemma. You simply don't murder passengers, ever. So call the cartel, as insane as that is. At least nobody dies. And no, Tiffany, we're not throwing anyone out. Not the elderly, not anyone. Ted, tell them we're not killing passengers. Please, this is where I draw the line. No one gets thrown out. No one!
Mike hands Ted a mirror with 4 lines of mixed ketamine and fentanyl, along with a rolled-up $100 bill. Ted snorts 2 of the lines and Tiffany snorts the other 2. Ted hands back the mirror to Mike and asks,
Aren't you going to partake?
I'm gonna wait until after I chuck off a few of the elderly. I'll finish this joint first so I can do that job with a smile and a laugh. Ha ha! Tiffany? I don't know if you're aware of it or not, sweetie, but your left boob is fully exposed.
Like, oh my god, I'm sorry about that. Well, at least you now know the answer to your question about puffy pepperonis.
Fentanyl and ketamine! Together! That's a hellfire lethal combination! It's gonna trigger respiratory depression! You could stop breathing! Ted, you're flying! Tiffany's on your lap! And you both just snorted enough drugs to kill an elephant! And Mike, you're not chucking off anyone! I don't care if you're smiling! I don't care if you're laughing! You are not throwing elderly passengers into the Gulf of Mexico! For the love of fuck! That's murder! First-degree murder! It's premeditated and malice of forethought! You're talking about it like you're taking out the trash! And Tiffany, you're exposed! Cover yourself! This is a cockpit! It's supposed to be a professional environment! But everyone's stoned! There are titties everywhere! And Mike's planning to murder old people just for being old! Call the cartel! Refuel! But no one gets thrown out! No one!
Oh, man alive. Oi, fellows. Either I'm tripping, balls to the walls, or that looks like an ocean liner up ahead.
Let me look through the binoculars and see what's what.
Gumma lumma wumma. Make love. Gumma lumma. Batman. Gumma lumma wumma. My Sharona.
It looks like the vessel calls itself the Icon of the Seas, and that's like totally pretentious, even arrogant. Who the fuck do they think they are?
Well, if it knows what's good for itself, it better get out of our way, because we ain't changing course for anyone.
Ocean liner! The Icon of the Seas! That's the world's largest cruise ship. 7,600 passengers, 2,350 crew, almost 10,000 people. And we're flying 3 inches above the water at 500 miles per hour, heading straight at it. Ted, change course! Now! Climb! Climb! If we hit that ship at this speed, we'll explode. Both vessels, 10,000 people on that ship, and 365 on our plane. And you say it better get out of our way! It's a cruise ship! It can't maneuver quickly! It weighs 250,000 tons! We have to move! Mike, grab the controls! Ted's high on fentanyl! He's not thinking straight! Climb! Bank left! Bank right! Anything! We're seconds from impact!
I'm a sleepy horse. In the corner of Matilda, what Shasta lights the candle on fire. I drink the feathers of love and linguine, and now go all squishy with vanilla and patchouli.
No, pudding. We go to sleep forever. We run from this hell of helping hashtags and bubble, flimwag.
I suppose I can fly us above the cruise liner, but I'm worried that the passengers might react badly to such a drastic 50-foot ascent. It might be better to just play chicken and force that big cocksucker to move out of our way.
They're gone! Ted and Tiffany are completely gone! They're in a K-hole! They're dissociated! They're falling unconscious! Feathers of love! Flimwag! They're not even speaking English! Mike, you're the only one left! And you want to play chicken? With a cruise ship? With 10,000 people? Too drastic! A 50-foot climb is too drastic! But slamming into a cruise ship at 500 miles per hour is completely acceptable. The passengers have survived inversion, multiple dives. They'll survive a 50-foot climb, but they won't survive a collision. Mike, climb now! 50 feet, 100 feet, anything! We're seconds away. I can see the ship. Climb, pull up, save us!
Hello, 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 my fellow stinky visitor, here in hell. I am smoking vintage, seeded 1976 Acapulco Gold, and drinking Kylie Page, cups of love coffee with 1 spoon of raw, set, Kentish honey. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat, or dog, or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only and always harm them, and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 3.4 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves, or their children, or beloved pets, to fake, pseudo-scientific diagnostic tests, which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it, you goddamn NPCs. It's too fucking ugly to behold, too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 74-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a tasty bite to eat? Perhaps a ride on a bad motor scooter? Or what about a swan dive off the summit of Beachy Head? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 11. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are flying on an Airbus 380 with 365 souls on board, flying inches above the Gulf of Mexico at 500 miles per hour, and on a collision course with the cruise liner the Icon of the Seas. The captain, Big Ted, has become incapacitated by his use of ketamine and fentanyl, and so too has the 18-year-old flight attendant Tiffany, who is sitting on his lap. The first officer, Mike, is flying the plane. There is also Bob in the cockpit, who is a senior pilot, but he is only a jump seat passenger. He is not on duty.
As you probably know, Bob, these newest 380s come equipped with a pilot-locking face recognition system, and that's what I've done here. Ted is obviously in La La Land, bless his heart, and so he can't fly the plane. And with this pilot lock, no one but me can fly it. I've engaged the autopilot so you don't have to worry about a thing, Bob. I'm just gonna pop out and back and lighten our load. There's more beer in the cooler if you're thirsty. Just help yourself, brother.
Pilot lock! You locked the controls to your face? Mike, we're on a collision course with the Icon of the Seas. The autopilot is flying us straight at it. It doesn't know there's a ship ahead. It's just maintaining heading and altitude. And you're leaving! You're leaving the cockpit to murder elderly passengers while we're seconds from impact. Mike, you can't leave. You're the only one who can control this aircraft. Forget about the passengers. Forget about lightening the load. We're about to hit a goddamn cruise ship. If you leave, we all die. Mike, please, don't leave the cockpit. Stay.
Sorry, Bob, but duty calls. And just to let you know, if either of those two start vomiting in their sleep, there's some Narcan nasal spray in the cooler. Just follow the directions on the can. Cool?
You're asking me if I'm cool? Cool? Mike, you're leaving me with two potentially overdosing people on a locked flight deck and a collision course with 10,000 souls. And you say there is Narcan in the cooler? They need medical attention. They need paramedics and hospitals, and not me fumbling with nasal spray. Don't leave. Don't you dare leave. I can't fly. I can't help Ted. I can't help Tiffany. I can't change course. I can't do anything. We're going to hit that ship in minutes, and I'm locked in here watching it happen. Mike, unlock the controls. Give me the fucking plane, or stay and fly it yourself. And what do you mean? Duty calls? Your duty is to fly this aircraft and not murder innocent passengers. Mike, please, don't leave me.
Mike leaves the cockpit, and Bob stares in horror at Big Ted and Tiffany. It looks like they have stopped breathing, but he's not sure. He has had no medical training, and if they have stopped breathing, will Narcan help them?
Oh God! Oh God! Are they breathing? Ted! Tiffany! Can you hear me? I can't tell! Are they breathing? Is their chest moving? His lips! Are they blue? I don't know! I don't know what I'm looking for! Narcan! Where's the Narcan? Found it! For opioid overdose! Fentanyl is an opioid. But what about the ketamine? Will this work? I don't know! I don't know anything! Do I use it? Do I wait? Are they even overdosing or just high? And we're still heading for the Icon of the Seas! I'm trapped! Sweet Jesus! I can't fly! I can't help them! I can't save anyone! What do I do? What do I do?
Suddenly, a single chime is heard from the console, and Bob knows what this means. He knows what the implications are.
That chime! That's the emergency door! The emergency door has been opened! Oh God! Oh God, no! Mike opened a door! He's actually doing it! He's throwing people out the emergency exit at 3 inches above the water and at 500 miles per hour! Good God Almighty! Anyone thrown out will hit the water like concrete! It will be an instant death! I can't believe it! He's murdering them! He's actually murdering the passengers! The elderly people! The so-called NPCs! The human beings! And I can't stop him! I can't fly! I can't do anything! Wake up! Ted! Wake up! I need your face to unlock the controls! People are dying, and Mike's killing them! And we're still heading for the icon of the seas! Somebody help! Please! Somebody!
Mike returns to the cockpit along with a passenger. She is a pretty Italian lady in her late 20s. She's wearing pink fishnet stockings with a very short white skirt and a canary yellow tube top.
How's it going up here, Bob? Everything well in hand? This is Penelope. I told her Ted is a doctor and could give her some advice about having an abortion.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Bob. Is this an adrenaline rush or what? I'm having the time of my life. Let's smoke some marijuana.
Is everything well in hand? Well in hand? Mike, the emergency door! I heard it chime! I heard it! You just threw people into the Gulf of Mexico, didn't you? Ted and Tiffany aren't breathing! Or maybe they are! I don't know! I'm not a doctor! And you, Penelope, no! This isn't an adrenaline rush! This is a terrible catastrophe! We're flying 3 inches above the water on a collision course with the icon of the seas, and there are 10,000 souls on that ship! And no! Fuck no! Ted isn't giving anyone any fucking abortion advice! He's too busy overdosing on fentanyl and ketamine! And no! Nobody's smoking marijuana! Mike just murdered innocent passengers! Get her out, Mike! Get her back to her seat! Strap her in! And unlock the controls! You must avoid hitting the icon of the seas, or we are all fucking toast!
Mike sprays some Narcan up the noses of Ted and Tiffany and they begin to wake up. He then gets back into his seat and raises the aircraft by 1,000 feet just in time to avoid hitting the cruise liner. Penelope claps her hands and squeezes herself onto his lap and gives him a kiss.
Wow. What this is? Is this what? Yorkshire? Am I here where I am? Bob? Mike? Where you are? Now here?
I'm here, Teddy Betty. It felt like I died, but I didn't. And now I know death is nothing to fear. Can we do it again, Ted? Huh? Can we do some more right now?
I pledge allegiance to the weed of the United States of cannabis and to the republic of getting brain boiled alive and dying young before I get old and decrepit and become a burden upon my loved ones.
Mike! The door! I heard the emergency door chime! Who did you throw out? How many?
What? Do you think I took names and social security numbers? I didn't have time for that, Bob. I had to lighten our load or we were going to run out of fuel. I lost count after about 45 or so, but who cares? They were NPCs. They were old and stinky and about to become burdens upon their loved ones and society too.
40! 45! You threw 45 people into the Gulf of Mexico? 45 human beings? 45 grandparents and mothers and fathers? 45 people who gave love and were loved? You murdered them! You threw them out at 500 miles per hour, and they must have hit the water like concrete. 45 souls! And you heartlessly and callously call them NPCs, old and stinky? They were people! You're a mass murderer, Mike. You're worse than a terrorist. You're a monster. 45 souls, gone, dead, because you wanted to save fuel. You're going to prison! Death row! All of you! You're murderers! Murderers!
Ted and Tiffany stand up and stretch. Tiffany extends her hand to Penelope and says,
Hello! I'm so pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Tiffany.
You're very beautiful, Tiffany. The pleasure is all mine. My name is Penelope.
That's so sweet of you. You're very pretty too. Ain't life fun when you're beautiful?
Hey, Mike! Where are we heading? Are we still going surfing?
Well, technically, we could make it to Sarasota, Bradenton International, but I fancy the challenge of landing at Siesta Beach. I mean, we've hardly pushed our luck today. It's been a fairly tame flight for us, so if you approve, Captain, please input these coordinates: 27.2652 degrees north, 82.55, 20 degrees west.
and Ted returns to his seat and says,
10-4, mighty mate. 27.2652 degrees north, 82.5520 degrees west. And our course is set.
Beautiful! You're talking about being beautiful. Mike just murdered 45 people. He literally threw them into the ocean. And you're complimenting each other? And why Siesta Beach, Mike? Siesta Beach! There's a real airport called Sarasota Bradenton International, with real runways, and with real emergency services, and with real concrete to land on. Ted, you just woke up from an overdose, and we just survived a cruise ship collision by a mere 200 feet, and your first officer just committed mass murder. And now you're going to attempt a beach landing for the challenge. Please, I'm begging you, go to the airport.
Hey, Mike, I thought you lightened our load, but our fuel is running very low.
Roger that, Ted. I ejected about 45 or 50 of those stinky old things and reckon that would be enough. But if you need me to drop another 30 or 40, who should I choose?
The French. You can start with the French ones, if you please. Sono vermi vili con l'alito denso di muco, pedofili che odiano gli ebrei. They are vile worms with mucus breath, pedophiles who hate the Jews.
I'm scared of black people. I don't think anyone would miss them. They are 10% of the population, but, they cause 90% of the crime. So, yee-haw.
What? What did you just say? You're choosing victims by nationality? By race? Tiffany, Penelope, you're talking about murdering people based on where they're from and the color of their skin. The French are vile, and black people cause crime. You're not just murderers. You're racist murderers. You're genocidal. No, you do not throw out another 30 or 40 people. Not French, not black, not anyone. 45 people are dead. 45 families destroyed. And you want to add more, based on race. Go to Sarasota Airport, now. Land with the fuel we have. We're not murdering anyone else. I won't let you. I won't.
Hello, my fellow stinky visitor here in hell. I am smoking Birmingham blueberry bubblegum buds and drinking a can of imported Vernors, Boston Cooler, a tasty creamy vanilla and ginger soda. And somewhere here in hell, someone is taking their cat or dog or bunny rabbit to the veterinarian to be injected with vaccines which can only and always harm them and never, ever, ever help them. And right this moment, another 5.4 billion humans like yourself are subjecting themselves or their children or beloved pets to fake pseudo-scientific diagnostic tests which will more than likely give them results that lead to the consumption of synthetic chemical treatments that will surely harm them and probably kill them. And you may think that's hyperbole, but that's only because you don't want to know the truth. You can't even be bothered to look into it, you goddamn NPCs. It's too fucking ugly to behold, too fucking horrific and shocking to the core. But I am chilled, comfy and cosy, and quite safe in my 75-story luxury treehouse. And I hope, dear listener, you are not in agony at the moment. I hope you have something to look forward to today. Perhaps a cartwheel off the summit of Beachy Head? This piece is titled Flying Stoned at 37,000 Feet, Part 12. It was written and copyrighted 2026 by Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin by counting down. 3, 2, 1. We are in an Airbus 380 with over 300 passengers flying over the Gulf of Mexico and heading towards Siesta Beach in Florida. In the cockpit is Captain Big Ted and his first officer Mike, and a jump seat passenger named Bob, and an 18-year-old flight attendant named Tiffany, and a passenger seeking advice about getting an abortion named Penelope. The plane is very low on fuel and the pilots are discussing the possible need to remove some passengers in order to lighten the load.
You know, lads, when I found Tiffany, I noticed that section in back with about 50 girls and a couple of fags wearing Taylor Swift shirts. Do you think they are some sort of fan club?
Oh my god, they are Swifties. Airhead, idiotic, bimbo, bubble-headed whores. I absolutely, positively, completely, and totally, hate them.
I've heard some very damning rumors about anti-Semitism and supporting the rights of children to transgender surgery. I hope it's not true.
I'm cool with that, but we gotta move fast. Do you want me to take out the garbage, Ted? Or do you want to do it?
50 more? 50 Taylor Swift fans? No! No! Stop! They're wearing T-shirts. They like a singer. That's not a reason to murder them. Tiffany, they're your age. They are only young women. They are someone's daughters. And those rumors about anti-Semitism are lies. And even if they weren't, you don't kill people for their opinions. Ted, you're talking about 50 teenage girls based on what shirts they're wearing. 45 dead, and now 50 more. 95 people in total. No! I won't let you! You'll have to kill me first! Land this plane at Sarasota Airport now! No more murder! No more!
Bob, it's another one of those moral dilemmas for you to solve. Either we chuck off 50 more and land safely on Siesta Beach and enjoy some cocktails and do a bit of surfing, or we all go into the water and drown. 3, 2, 1, go!
3 seconds! No! No! I won't choose! Land at Sarasota Airport! The real airport! We have enough fuel! We have to! I won't pick 50 girls to die! I won't! They're children! If we all drown, then we drown! But I'm not choosing who lives and who fucking dies based on T-shirts! 45 people are already dead! Their blood is on your hands! And I won't add 50 more! Please, Ted, land at the airport! Glide if you bloody well have to! Anything! But no more murder! I'd rather die than become what you are! No! My answer is no!
Oh dear, Bob. I am unequivocally disappointed to hear you say that.
And Ted proceeds to reach into a cockpit side pocket and retrieves a cloth and a small brown glass bottle of chloroform and gets out of his chair.
No! No! Ted, stay back! Don't! Please don't! You're going to knock me out so you can murder them without me stopping you! I won't let you! I won't be unconscious while you throw 50 girls to their deaths! Ted, you're 345 pounds! I can't fight you! But I'm begging you! Don't do this! Don't make me helpless! Don't force me to wake up knowing 50 more people died while I was out! Please! I'll be quiet! I'll stop objecting! Just don't knock me out! Don't!
Ted quickly subdues Bob and puts him to sleep. He tells Mike to lower the aircraft closer to the water while he goes into the cabin to dispose of the Swifties.
Can I go with you, Teddy Betty? I want to film it and post it on my social media channels.
Not a problem, darling. Let's do it.
Ted takes care of business and then returns to the cockpit with Tiffany.
Did everything go okay?
It was brilliant. I caught it all in 4K. I've already got like 900 likes and 6,000 new subscribers.
Oh, let me see. Let me see.
Ted sits in his seat and tells Mike,
Hey, Mike, do we have enough fuel to ascend to 370?
We certainly do. Now! Ha ha ha! Is 370 what you require, Captain?
10-4. Roger that, mate.
This is the funniest video I've ever seen. He's throwing them out like duffel bags of excrement.
Watch this next one. Did you see her head come off in his hands? That was wicked.
and the whole cockpit erupts into uncontrollable laughter. And this is what Bob wakes up to, a happy environment. He's not sure if the Swifties were chucked off the plane or not, but he resents having been chloroformed and wants to know when and where they are going to land. Aren't they almost out of fuel?
What's so funny? What happened? You chloroformed me. You drugged me. The Swifties, the 50 girls. Did you throw them out? Tell me, are they alive? Or are there 95 corpses in the Gulf of Mexico now? Tell me, what did you do while I was unconscious? And the fuel! We were almost empty. Where are we? How long have we been flying?
Relax, Mr. Bob. We are flying over the wild blue yonder and smoking marijuana. Marijuana, marijuana. Ti giuro fedeltà. Dovresti essere sempre libera, mia dolce foglia.
Chill out, old chap. We changed our minds about lightening our load. Mike found some special reserve fuel hidden in the flimmy-flammy Skrig-Scrog housing unit of Engine 2.
It's good to have you back, Compos Mentis, Bob. We are currently at a cruising altitude of 370. and headed for Siesta Beach at 27.2652 degrees north, 82.5520 degrees west.
Flimmy flammy skrig scrog housing unit? That's not a real thing! Engines don't have secret reserve fuel in made-up compartments. You're lying, or you're so high you don't know what you're saying. And the Swifties, you changed your minds. They're still alive. How do I know you're telling the truth? You chloroformed me. You could have done anything. And we're still heading for Siesta Beach, not the airport. Ted, Mike, there's a real runway at Sarasota Bradenton, which will provide us with a proper landing. Why are you still planning a beach landing?
Look at this, Ted. I have an app on my phone for tracking planes. You probably know it. It's called the ADS-B Exchange.
Yes, darling. I know exactly which app you're referring to. And what do you see with those pretty blue eyes?
I can hardly believe my eyes, but it's showing Air Force One about 22 miles ahead and at our exact altitude. Oh, Teddy Betty, can we fly closer so I can wave at Donald Trump?
MAGA MAGA, we love the orange man.
I don't see why not. Captain, do you want to do a flyby and see if we can get a wave or thumbs up from President Trump?
Air Force One! Air Force One! No, 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 no! You cannot fly close to Air Force One! It's the President's aircraft! It has military escorts, F-16s and F-35s, armed fighters. If we approach unauthorized, they'll shoot us down immediately with no warning and no questions. Ted, Mike, this isn't a cruise ship. This isn't a Mexican patrol. This is the President of the United States. They'll think we're a threat, a terrorist attack. They'll blow us out of the fucking sky. Turn away, descend, change course, anything. We've survived everything else. Please, dear Lord, don't let this be how we die. Don't let us be shot down by the Air Force defending President Trump.
No, Bobby. You forget we are Melania Trump Airlines. There's not a snowball's chance in hell they would behave aggressively towards us.
Estimated time of proximity, 1 minute and 33 seconds.
I fancy a blast of Kay and Fenty. Can we do some more, Teddy Betty?
Melania Trump Airlines isn't real. It's not an official airline. It has no affiliation with the president. And our transponder is off. We're spoofing our position. They see us as an unidentified aircraft. The Secret Service doesn't care what name or flowers or cleavages you painted on the fuselage. They see a rogue plane approaching the president. 1 minute, 33 seconds. We're about to be in their engagement zone. And no Tiffany, no more ketamine and fentanyl. You just woke up from a goddamn overdose. You almost fucking died a humiliating death. Turn, Mike. Descend. Climb. If you don't, the F-16 escorts will lock missiles on us. They'll give one warning and then fire. Don't let this be the end. Turn away from Air Force One. Now, please.
Suddenly a voice booms over the radio.
Unidentified Airbus A380. This is NORAD-02. You are in restricted airspace near a protected asset. Acknowledge immediately and state your intentions.
What's a NORAD?
It's just an advisory, darling. Take no notice, Mike, and proceed as planned.
NORAD! NORAD! North American Aerospace Defense Command. They command fighter jets and missiles, and they're about to shoot us down. Ted, that's the military defending the president. This isn't an advisory. It's a final warning. Respond. Respond to them.
You are rather high-strung and hysterical, no?
I think maybe he needs to calm down or he might threaten our safety. I think we should assist him with some medical consumption of Kay and Fenty. Hey, Teddy Betty.
Me? I'm the safety threat? NORAD just gave us a final warning. Fighter jets are converging on us. We're seconds from being shot down. And you think I need to be drugged? Tiffany, Penelope, wake up! This is real! Someone needs to respond to that radio and identify us.
Warning! Warning! Airbus 380. You are on a collision course. Turn 30 degrees east immediately and descend to 10,000 feet. Confirm squawk code and destination. Squawk 7700.
Squawk, squawk. Squawk like an Egyptian.
This is it! Do it now or they fire! Turn! Descend! Squawk 7700! Please, do it! Do it now!
I fancy some Pink Floyd. Can one of you young ladies find the song Wish You Were Here on your phone and fast forward to 3 minutes and 6 seconds?
I'm on it, Teddy Betty.
Good girl.
Pink Floyd! Pink Floyd! NORAD just gave us direct military orders. Turn east. Descend. Squawk 7700. And you're requesting a song, a specific timestamp in Wish You Were Here. We have seconds to live. Fighter jets are locked on and missiles are armed.
Here it is, Teddy.
And Ted and Mike and Penelope and Tiffany all sing in unison.
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year.
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year.
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year.
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year.
Last warning! Last warning! Turn east now, or you will be forced down! You are not cleared to proceed!
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year.
Last warning! Last warning!
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year.
Stop singing! Stop singing! This is the last warning! After this, they fire! Here come the F-16s, the Sidewinder missiles, and 20mm cannons. Turn! Turn the plane! Descend! Please! I don't want to die! Tiffany! Penelope! Mike! Ted! Please stop singing!
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here.